The voices of men who claim leadership are silent today. People punked. Afraid to say what needs to be said to a country that's going to hell. Where's the real patriot? Now, kinder, gentler Farrakhan, you don't know me. Don't you put me in no bag that makes you comfortable. I'm Farrakhan. I will die on truth. Not weak, but truth, strong and mighty to relieve you of your burdens. I'll tell you straight, you will never punk me. You don't have enough money to buy me. You don't have nothing to offer me. You can't kill me. Even if you try, I can't die. You'll deal with me for generations to come.
What's good? Welcome to the Wyatt Live, 1 p.m. Facts over feelings. Who with me? Who's with me? You don't have enough money to buy me. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. You know, I was going to come in. You know, I to be honest with you, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to come in today. Let me know if you can hear me, because I had a little mic problem earlier today. You can see when I cut the mic on red, that means it's going to be one of them kind of days. Whenever you see the mic red, that means beware. That's even worse than the parental advisory. That means it's going to be some shit talking. That means it's going to be some truth bombs. It's going to be some hurt feelings laying on the ground at the end of the show, or they going to log off. Oh, I did some research today. I made some long distance phone calls back up to Ohio. Wait till you hear what I had to ask some of the surrounding areas around Cincinnati. I don't want to get too political, but I got to touch it a little bit because we got an election coming up in Cincinnati up there. Yeah, we got an election coming up. And I just want to drop some truth to you and see if you still feel the same way about some things. And you got to understand, when you get certain people in positions that look like you, they learn. And I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to say something right now that's going to shock everybody. I'm going to give an unbelievable, and it's not just because this sister is a Withrow Tiger. It's not just because she speak up. It's not just because of that. Y'all heard me say some things before. Now, I criticize some of the things she say and some of the things she do. I ain't always, on her side, but I'm going to say this to you. Shout out to Alicia Reese. Because a lot of people are not reading in between the lines, and she got some thick ass lines. So y'all don't misunderstand what I'm saying. She has some thick ass lines that she's throwing out to you motherfuckers. But y'all don't really hear her though. She ain't even holding it back. She just flat out telling you and you don't even hear it. Nobody's even saying anything. They so used to being on cold, Roz. They so on cold, Roz Freeman, that they don't even see the shit. They can't even admit it, bro. They so much on cold. Alicia Reese has told y'all anything and everything you need to know. I'm sure she got some stuff that she ain't told y'all yet. When she leave the office or exit or whatever you want to call it, exit stage left, There's some things she can't really share with y'all right now. When I say y'all, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say my black community, my black folks, not no black community, my black folks, my Democrats. I know, go ahead and log off now. I'm about to get on y'all ass for a minute. You shouldn't go so hard on Republicans and independents when you're talking about somebody. Y'all letting politicians that then went to jail on their way to jail, facing indictments, closing out indictments, talk about fuck them Republicans, them dirty ass motherfuckers. Do you know that's like a motherfucker that just shitted on theyself, telling somebody else that they stink? You got on a grown ass pamper, pissing and shitting on yourself, but yeah, you gonna call somebody else a stank bomb. Get out of here. I told you the mic red today. How you gonna call somebody funky when you got a dirty pamper on? Some of you ain't even wearing a pamper. You just shitted on yourself. How you gonna call somebody dirty, stanky, ain't shit, and you sitting there dirty as hell your damn self? How you gonna do it? Some of you who just learning of this show, you just logged on because I put that post out today and I said, hey, I'm about to tell you my secrets of how to pay off your credit cards and keep the interest rate low. And then I come on here saying shit like that. They like, hey, he can't teach me nothing. He sound crazy. I'm gonna do that too. Look, I'm not a financial advisor. All right, I just been counting my coins since the 3rd grade. I'm no financial advisor. I like to share what I've taught myself or what I've learned. So look, don't think I'm about to be sounding like E.F. Hutton when I give you this piece of gem, this game. I'm not going to be E.F. Hutton up in this joint. I'm gonna give you the common guy from down the way answer that's gonna make so much sense to you. You're gonna say, damn, why my mama didn't teach me that? Damn, why my daddy didn't teach me that? Damn, why my banker ain't never tell it to me like that? But first, before I give you all of what I got of me, I'm gonna give you something else. Yeah, for the people that's new here, people have never been here before. You growing. I'm starting to watch you. I could see you now. I could see you. I always knew you were here. You just been hiding. But I know you're here and I know your antennas are on 10, so let's get it. Yesterday, I don't know what's going on, but my Facebook ratings are down. So I bring my numbers over from all my other platforms and merge them because I really want to do this on Facebook. And I want to give a shout out to Facebook. I know some of y'all go to Facebook jail. Y'all say some of the craziest shit in the world and you be like, well, what I do? Y'all, don't y'all hate them type of motherfuckers? Always in some shit, starting some shit, instigating shit, say the dumbest shit and be like, turn around. Well, what I do? That's TP. Remember TP on what was that movie? Any Given Sunday? No, it wasn't Any Given Sunday. It was, what was the Jerry Maguire? Remember TP? Jerry Maguire's client, which was the dude that played the wide receiver. Wide receiver, bro, I don't know or remember his name, but his brother name was TP. And how in the hell I can remember TP over the main star is because I hate TPs. I can't stand the TP people. TP is the guy that every time something was about to happen and it was positive, he was waiting when the receiver, when your boy was waiting for his fat contract and he decided to play the year without a contract, just play for that money for that year. And TP was like, don't get hurt. Always talking negative. I always want to bring up the gloom and doom side of everything. Don't get hurt. Yeah, there it is. Ari Spears played that position, or played that role. Thanks, John Ludd. I mean, don't get hurt. I'm about to start my own business. Man, you can't start no own business, man. You don't know nothing about that business, man. They ain't gonna give you no money to start no business, man. Go sit your TP ass down. They ain't gonna give us no money. They ain't gonna let you get no lease. They ain't. Shut up, TP. You can't. You can't. Don't get hurt. You know how small you are. Don't go across the middle. TP ass guys. Always glooming and dooming on somebody else's dream. So forget the TPs. Forget the TPs, forget the people. If you always in Facebook jail, stop thinking you ain't did shit. Facebook been good to me. And I say some of the craziest shit. The mic is red today. The mic is red. So get ready. Where am I at with it? Let me just say this. Couple things I'm going to cover today before I go over the credit card thing. Because some of y'all, that's all you here for. You don't want to hear that other shit. You just want me to do something for you. You don't really want to support me. You don't want to support the Wyatt Live show. You just, well, what can I get from this motherfucker today that I can pay? You ain't going to pass it on to your kids. Listen, cut the show off right now. When I start talking about the credit cards and the things that you can move on and do better in life and that you can prosper from, if you're only going to use it for yourself, this ain't for you. Okay, this is not for you. This is to be able to spread to your children and your children. Teach your children to teach their kids what you have taught them. So if you're not here for that, then get off, gone. I'll start talking to the four we started with. We started with 4 people. We'll go back to the 4 people. Damn it, and we'll sit here Indian style. No shoes on and all that, and just sit here and have a conversation. But if you're going to be selfish, and don't want to share the information or don't want to take into consideration some of the things that I talk about on other topics, go on with your bad ass. Go on. Keep doing it the way you've been doing it. TP. My bad. Y'all know about 5 minutes from now, somebody gonna log in and they ain't gonna know what I'm talking about when I say TP. TP? What the fuck? Why I keep saying TP? They'll get it. Somebody explain it to them later. All right, so listen. Couple different things before I move on. Food drive. This is our 3rd annual Thanksgiving food drive on Wyatt Live. Now, I know I'm not going to get a whole lot of participation, but anyway, and that's not a TP approach. It's just consistently been slow from the Wyatt Live family when it came down to giving. Now, y'all take some shit. You know, y'all the ones that come to the damn cookout, the family cookout or Thanksgiving, and you bring the lowest or the least expensive thing or the easiest thing not to make. What you want me to bring to the cookout, Wyatt? Well, bring something that you think everybody will be cool with. All right, I'm going to bring ice. No, we need more than ice. Bring a dish. Bring something that everybody gonna like. Bring a dish. Yeah, we need ice, but I got that. We got that. That's a house. Ice is a house deal. Don't be that relative that always want to show up bringing the easy shit. Stop coming to Wyatt Live wanting to be the relative that, well, I'm gonna bring the pop. I'm gonna bring the soda. And your ass bring a 12 pack. You then went and spent $3.99 and you about to eat $60 worth of food at the cookout. Stop. That's for the children to do. You let the kids bring the ice. You let the kids bring 1 or 2 cases or a 2-liter because they don't know no better. Because they mamas and they daddies ain't taught them that shit yet. If you're a grown ass and you can eat $30 worth of food on 1 plate, because that's how y'all stack it, and then go get more, you should bring something of relevance other than some damn ice to the family cookout. I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. I ain't going to say this too loud because my wife is here. But it ain't my family. Okay, my family, but it ain't my family. So you know when it ain't your family, but it's your family, it's family-in-law. I don't like them at my house. None of them. I mean, my family, her family. I don't like family at the house because something always breaks. Something always breaks. I don't know why. I don't know if I have a hater amongst the family group, but for some odd reason, do y'all remember? I'm going to say this to my family on Wyatt Live, all right? Do y'all remember about a year ago when I told y'all my wife got this old dumbass, what is that? A trash can. It's an electric trash can where you wave your hand on it like that and it opens and in a couple minutes it closes. It's like a $300 garbage can. And I don't understand it. Like I don't want a $300. We working on our 3rd one. Who remember that? Who remember I say every time I have family at the house, somebody break that garbage can. But we never know. Dante, he said, you break it, you buy it, damn it. I feel the same way, but I can't catch one of these motherfuckers who breaking these 300. Who has a three? Look, I'm not that guy. I'm not bougie or none of that. I do some bougie shit, but it's by accident. It's by accident. It's an accident that I have a $300 garbage can. I don't go buy it, okay? But I use it. So I'm going to call that an accident. That being said, I don't like family at my house because every time somebody's here, they break it. They break the garbage can, or I get something stopped up in the, and you know what I'm talking about. Okay, Linda Reed says she got one, so you know what I'm talking about. But I don't know if your family come to your house and tear your shit up. Mine do. And I ain't talking about the kids. If it was the kids, I'd be like, okay, that's child. You know, kids tear shit up. They really do. But when it's adults and the trash can come up broke, or the screen by the screen out to the pool and shit get scratched or scraped, I'm starting to think it's deliberate. Even being family, I ain't gonna tell you which family member I think it is, but I think it's some shit. I think some sabotage shit is going on. We're working on our third. I'm about to move on. We third electric trash can, and it only breaks when family come over. We can have guests that ain't related come over to the house, chill, whatever. Trash can, fine. But every time these particular family members come through, my trash can get broke. I don't understand it. Tim Scott says, set up cameras. We got cameras in the house, but you're on a point. The next time, I'm going to turn the camera directly on the trash can. Who put a camera on the trash can? But now, I mean, why should I have to do that? Now, the camera is on the shit back there to really make some sense that if somebody steal it, now I got to check their ass. But now I got to put a camera on the trash can. That's crazy. Let's move on. Let's do this. I said something about Alicia Reese. I'm gonna bring this up, then I'm gonna go straight to the credit card thing. Okay, I want people to hear what I have to say about some things before I give them what they really came here for, which was the credit card information. Okay, I want them to hear. They're gonna have to deal with me first before they get this free game. All right, they're gonna have to know what Wyatt Live is about, and it's about the truth. It's about facts. It ain't always about your feelings. And sometimes you do get your feelings hurt because it's like, damn, my mama never taught me that. My mama taught me something different. We still doing things our parents taught us. When can anybody on here raise their hand and say that whatever your mama taught you, all of it was right? Your mama ever told you something when you was a kid and you grew up doing what she taught you, and you found out later on in life, this shit ain't right. This ain't the right way. I've been doing this shit because my mom and them been doing this shit forever. That's what happens from everything, from voting, from selecting men, women, from selecting your women, men. You know what I'm saying? It's usually an inherited gene that we get that make us go in these directions of the things that we do. I've already told you in a post, I said we are a summary of our decisions. That go to your mom and your dad or whoever raised you too. Whoever put ideas in your mind. You are a summary. You're a product of the decisions and the things that they install in you. We do what we were taught by nature. We're creatures. Okay? Just being honest. Whenever you see a little girl being raised by a mother, and the mother always fighting with the boyfriends and fighting with the man and all that old shit, chances are the daughter gonna do the same thing. She gonna be attracted, or she gonna get attracted, the men that's gonna attract to her, or she gonna bring in the same shit her mama be dealing with. Guys that got a fast ass mama generally end up with fast ass girls. That's just how it go. No secrets. Let me just say this. I want to bring this in before I get lost in the sauce on it. Alicia Reese, I brought her name up. She's never called the show. I've had conversations with her before and some other stuff, but I want to give a shout out to her. She's saying some things on radio, black radio. She said it again today. She whispered it, but it was like loud for me. I heard it loudly. She mentioned something about, I don't want to talk about the railroad, but I want to let y'all know how this is relevant to the railroad. She's talking about veterans receiving money. You understand what I'm saying? These veteran programs from the county. Now, y'all know Alicia Reese is the county president or the county, she's the head of the county commissioner's office or something of that nature. Okay, she's a county commissioner, whatever. I don't know her title. So that must mean I don't know what I'm talking about. I know her name, but I don't know her title. So, okay, if I don't know her title, then you can take this for however you want to take it. I get those type of DMs, guys. He don't even know her name. How did he know? How he know about it? He don't even know what position she really has. So how would she know? Well, let me just put it to you like this. The sister is unbelievably smart. And what she's dropping to the black community are gems. And y'all don't even catch them. And you're not even asking the right questions. You stay mad and angry and emotional because you've been taught to be that way. You want to be mad at something. Got to be mad at something. Got to be mad at something. Just want to be angry. And you're so angry that you don't even really ask the right questions to the person that got the right information. And Alicia Reese is a barrel of information. If I could sit down and talk to her, I mean, I ain't talking about with the cameras on. I'm talking about if I just sat back, I would probably look at her like I'm a Mr. Know-It-All, because you ever knew something, but you never really knew it to be true. And you want to jump up and be like, I knew it, damn it, I knew it, God damn, I knew it. That's probably how I would be with her information. Because I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes I come up with these conclusions and I say to myself, then this is a conspiracy. And then you feel crazy. It's like, nah, they couldn't do that. That wouldn't happen. That's impossible. That shit ain't real. And then here come Alicia Reese saying some things like, all of these private boards, y'all don't even hear her. Y'all don't even understand. See, I'm going to say this because black radio don't have no problem always fussing and cussing and being mad at Republicans. But what she is telling you is that these politicians don't have any power at the ground floor level. Who has the power are the boards. They control the money. They control the money outside of the policies set by the politicians. Damn the damn policies. Who got the money? Where the money going? And y'all heard it today. Some of you heard it today. And for those that didn't, let me reframe it. Let me phrase it up like this. Alicia Reese, God, she's a queen. I tell you what, if I wasn't married, I would be looking for a woman just like her. I'm sorry, I said it. Ain't nothing wrong. My wife knows. I didn't tell her. Listen, she said that the veterans group in Ohio, in Cincinnati, in Hamilton County, can't get no money. They can't get nothing. They got a guy over there making $125,000 a year. He ain't showing up to no meetings. They don't know when they meeting. They don't control the money. There's a private board controlling the millions of dollars that's supposed to be going to the Veterans Affair and all that old shit. Did y'all hear that? Did you hear that? Now, what she told you is this. These politicians don't even control that money. Once again, that's a private board. Now, all my Democrats, this is what I want you to understand. Y'all so mad at Republicans. Republicans don't want you to have shit. You so angry. You just don't know what an elite Democrat looks like. You don't know what a rich Democrat look like because they too busy trying to steer the direction on some other shit. See, you ground floor leveled in. You ground floor leveled in on how dirty the Republicans are. And guess who keep you ground floor leveled in? Your representatives, the people that show you how dirty Trump and all them dirty ass Republicans are and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, y'all keep looking at them dirty ass Republicans. Floyd, let's go to dinner tonight. See, they want you. I ain't gonna say they want you in soup kitchen lines, but they will tell you soup kitchen lines are plentiful. We got too many soup kitchen lines. We got to start doing things for our people. The same people talking about that soup kitchen line shit going to the precinct. For those out of towners, the precinct is a very nice, upscaled, expensive restaurant in Cincinnati. See, your bourgeois Negroes that are in politics, that's where they eat. They hang out and rub noses and toes and all that old shit with the big money. Meanwhile, they fight for the ground floor level people, so you will continue to vote for them. Now, what party am I talking about when we talk about all of this? Because these are facts. These are straight facts. I don't know too many of these politicians that live in your neighborhood. The neighborhoods that they talk about wanting economic growth in and all, they don't live in them fucking neighborhoods, bro. They don't live there. They don't live there. I'm gonna show you a picture right now because you know I'm big on Chicago. I use Chicago as an example because Chicago black folks are the only ones that'll speak up. They'll get out of code. They'll get out of code. And now let me show you this right here. Perfect example of what I'm talking about. Check this picture out right here. This is a lady, she's an elected alderman, which means like a city council person in Chicago. This lady in the middle, I don't know if y'all can see that clearly, but pull in your device. Pull in your device. Put your glasses on, put a magnifying glass to this. I had to take this off of Twitter today. Excuse me. Off not Twitter, it's X. Here this lady is that has a t-shirt on in the middle. Look like the old Run DMC shirt. Guess what it said? Now she's a Democrat. She has a t-shirt on that says, "Eat the rich." See what I'm saying? Like deploring the rich, the Republicans and the rich, and they ain't for us and all that old shit. Meanwhile, check this out. An elected alderman, I'm going to read it. An elected alderman in the city of Chicago wearing an Eat the Rich sweatshirt in an official capacity. She was doing her job that day, okay? She makes $150,000 a year. That's 56% more than the median household income in Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, Rosemary Rodriguez Sanchez. That's her name. How you gonna sit up here and have Eat the Rich on and represent your people? How you representing your people, alderman? How you doing that? And you make 56% more than the median household in Chicago. If this ain't the most hypocritical shit, that lady don't live the way Chicagoans live. You make 56% more than the average household. Y'all don't see what's going on here? Of course you do. Of course you do. You just don't understand how it's played. This lady is to talk about poor, 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 rich. She makes poor normal. And she makes being rich or getting to the money a demon. It's demonizing to be rich. Meanwhile, she making the same kind of money of the people that she talk about. She makes 56% more than the average household in Chicago. Now I want you to see her name. Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez. She's not the only one. She's not the only one. You can get mad at me if you want to. I'm giving you information. And I'm about to give you even more, and I'm going to use Alicia Reese's gem and all that shit that she dropped. She told y'all the veterans don't even get no money. I did some research today. Oh, y'all going to kill me. They going to lose. I'm going to lose a few today. I'm going to lose a few today. I did some research in Ohio, close to Cincinnati. I went to Mason. I called Mason City Council. I'm going to use Mason first before I go to Butler County. Alicia Reese today said something on the radio. She said, Butler County and Warren County, Claremont County, their veterans get money. They get money. Like they don't have all these private boards set up, unelected officials set up, passing their money out and taking the money from city council. They don't have that. They all get money. They all get the money that's meant for them. Now, let me ask you this. I just want to ask a question. I see Black Rusher on here. He might be able to help us all with this one. When you talk about an area like Mason, Ohio, Mason is a city within Ohio, which is right up the road from Cincinnati. It's within 20 miles. Let me ask you a question. What would you say the majority of their city council is when it came down to being what political party do you think they are? You know them nasty white folks that y'all can't stand out in Mason and all those areas, those nice big nice homes, all those rich white people, all that old shit, they must, those folks. Those folks. Do you think they Democrats or do you think they're Republicans? Which one would you classify them as? Black Russia said Republican, no doubt. So now let me ask you something, Black Russia. Maybe you can help me. Maybe you can call. I got a question for you. You can guide me through this because I did the research today. Did you know in Mason, Ohio, that they don't even classify their politicians by Democrat or Republican? You vote for name. You vote name. You vote for their policies. You vote for their ideas. When you go in and vote for them inside the booth, they don't have a DRR next to their name. See, you got to listen to debates and understand who they are. So Granny and them can't go in and vote for Miss Stephanie whatever, or Ron whoever. They can't go in and just be like, well, I'm gonna vote based on if I see a Democrat or a Republican. They have to understand the individual or know who it is or have seen them in a debate or seen them on television or something of that nature. They can't just vote DRR. DR, the letter R. Some people do that. Some people just go in and vote the way they've been taught. They don't vote by what they've learned over the last year of debates and affiliations with policies that work for them. So I made a phone call to Mason and I said, I want to know what's her name? Something Parrot. I can't think of her name. Strahan or something. I can't think of her name. I've learned the name of several mayors. I'm not. If it don't matter to me, I don't retain it. Okay. But I will say this. I called the office and I asked a question. I said, I'd like to know if the mayor happens to be a white lady of Mason. I asked, well, is Mayor such and such, is she a Republican or a Democrat? I'm curious. They said, well, we're not privileged to get that information. That's not something that we get into. I said, really? I said, so you trying to tell me that when people go in the booth to vote for their city officials or their leadership, that they don't know if they're voting Democrat or Republican? They don't really know? He said, no. She said, the young lady said, no, sir, we don't do that. And I'm not at liberty to tell you if they're a Democrat or a Republican. And I'm like, I'm going to the website of the mayor. I'm going to City Hall of them. I'm trying to find city council and get an idea if they're Republican or Democrat. All right. Now, of course, a lot of people on here would look at it and say, well, I know Mason. I know they school district. I know they privileged. They this white privilege and all that old shit. There's black people that live in Mason, by the way. I don't know from my out of town people, just to give you FYI. There are established black people that live in Mason. They fit the category of all the shit that people call white privilege and all that old shit out there. They live there and they have the same privileges that those folks out there have. But here's the thing. They don't classify elections under Democrat or Republican for the mayorship or the city council. Here's the other thing. They don't have exactly what Alicia Reese is not bitching about, but explaining to y'all what the problem is in the city of Cincinnati. The city of Cincinnati is a Democratic city. It's had Democratic mayors for I don't know how long. It's had a mixture of city council, yes. But if you really look at, yeah. And that's the thing. Daryl Carpenter made a good point. He said, Glenn Washington was from Mason. Nah, he's from Cincinnati. He did what most black elites do. He moved to Mason. No shame on his name, RIP to Glenn. That's why I used to trip out off of Glenn having so much to say about Republicans and Democrats this and Republicans that and this and this and that. He talked all that shit about Democrats, but he moved to a Republican county. He moved somewhere how Republicans move. He wanted nice grass and green, and he wanted community act. He wanted the same thing that the community council, what they can control. He wanted that type of lifestyle, but he came on radio and he talked all that other stuff about Cincinnati politics that are ran by Democrats. Let me go to the phone lines real fast before I make my point. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Wyatt, it's Black Russia. What's
Black
up?
Russia, what's good with you?
Hey, I'm chilling, man. What's going on with you?
Sorry, I was sipping my Coke there. I'm
No,
good,
it's
man. How
okay.
about you, bro? What's good with you?
And enjoy this beautiful weather that we got. It was cold earlier, but it warmed up.
Yeah. Hey, did you
So I'm
hear?
out here.
You must have heard me say, well, call in, Black Russia. So let me run this down to you so you can point us in the right direction, because I know you have a political hold of information. Look, Alicia Reese went on the radio today and told Lincoln Ware and all the rest of everybody who's listening that once again, here we are with some little private board that's put together because our veterans can't get money, and you got a guy over there leading it. Did you hear that by any chance? Did you hear?
Hey, Alicia Reese was dropping jewels. I'm gonna say this right now for everybody. Alicia Reese is commissioner for life. If she doesn't want any of the office, she can, stay in that office till she die like Ty Portune did. I want Alicia Reese for county commission for life, bruh. She gave so much information today. It was unbelievable. I'm listening to it. She peeping gang down there.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Information is key, right?
Right.
So once you get, hey, can you cut your radio or whatever it is? Cut that down in the back for me, because I keep hearing myself.
I don't have it on. I'm sorry. I got you on my car. That's what it was, probably.
Okay.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better, I believe. Yeah, that's good. So listen, once you get the information, that's the key. You can't win a battle if you don't know what's going on. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree with that.
So Alicia Reese is giving us information, but she's not naming it a certain way. She's not telling us, like, this is what you should do, this is what you should look out for. She's just giving you the information to inform you of how things are done. Now, what I'm looking at is like this, Black Russia. Once she give me the game of what's being done, now I got to look at who's doing it. Right? Wouldn't you say that would be the key?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I looked it up too.
I'm saying, like, who's doing it? Who's making the decisions of these boards, these private boards, and keeping themselves in the above politicians on these what do they call them? When you don't get voted in.
They're I would call it an administrative agency to be safe.
Well, there's a word that we use when you're appointed. There it is. Appointed boards.
Oh, yeah.
And these people, just like the people who are over this $1.6 billion railroad, I call it the land deal because it's not a railroad deal. It's a land deal. $1.6 billion deal. Your city council, the people of Cincinnati who elected these folks, will have nothing to do with that money other than what this private board is able to give them. They can do whatever they want to do with their allowance from the board, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now who's putting these boards together, Black Russia? Who's building the power on top of power?
For this particular board right here, with the Veteran Services Administration or whatever they call it, it's the Hamilton County probate judge Ralph Ted Winkler, who's actually a Republican, which is shocking.
Well, what I'm saying, okay, let's go to the land. I'm talking about the railroad.
We can go to the landlord. Yeah, we can go to the railroad. The mayor, after Pureville appoints his people.
Okay, so why is it all these Democrat mayors stacked up building power above the power structure right there in Cincinnati? Why aren't we saying something about that? You see, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you want to say something about how, let's just use the veteran thing, like what you just said. If you want to say something about the Veterans Board, this private elected board or appointed board, and it's being done by a Republican, wouldn't you say you would have that same argument, you would have that same anger and frustration toward the board for the railroad? Wouldn't you think it would be the same thing?
Yeah, if they were mismanaging it, absolutely.
So why isn't that conversation? Why aren't they talking about that? Why?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the point. Like, because the power structure, as far as the railroad, is a situation where the Democratic mayor and everybody on top is on the same page with that. So he puts some people in place so he can get what he wants. And then he endorses it. Then he gets the railroad to endorse it too. So it's all big money right there for the Democrats on that end. Now, as far as the veterans situation, that's the probate judge. So Ralph Winkler, now, for me, is a target.
But wait a minute. Let's be clear. I know Ralph Winkler. We don't like have lunch or nothing, but I know who he is. He's a
Right.
Republican as a judge, but he's a probate judge. Okay, so now keep
Right.
in mind,
And he makes the appointments
right
to that Veterans Board.
but
Yeah.
keep in mind,
That's his job.
keep in mind, he's an elected official. Okay,
Yes.
so you can control what he do by how you vote. But how are all these Democrats getting on this board with the say for instance the railroad? You got all these former mayors. Any of those mayors Republican by any chance? Any of those previous?
Well, Amy Murray's on the board. She Republican.
Okay.
She wasn't the mayor, but yeah, she's on the board.
But it's a money game.
For sure.
It's a money game. And you're always going to have some Republicans that'll play with the Democrats, and you'll always have some Democrats that'll play with the Republicans. And that's where us ground floor level people lose track of all where it is. Because
right, because we get focused on one party. And it's like, man, they all in it together. But they strategic with it.
So now let me ask you a quick question. I know you're not really in that circle with those guys, but your opinion. This is just a matter of opinion. Do you really think anybody on that board, and I'm not going to say any names, I'm talking about the railroad board. Do you really think that they're working for the city of Cincinnati in its best interest and they're not going to get anything out of it? Do you really think that's the case?
They're definitely going to get something out of this deal.
Of course. But do you think, I mean, aren't they trying to convince people that they're absolutely just doing this just for the goodness of Cincinnati?
That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say we're going to pay for all these expenditures that people want. It's for the people, whoop-de-whoop. But in reality, it's going to be locked into a trust. And like the pet projects that the politicians want done, they're going to get done. And at the same time, these folks are going to stay on the board and they'll be in power positions where they ain't going to make money directly on it, but indirectly for sure. Norfolk Southern is going to take care of them, no doubt.
Well, if I was on the board and I had someone that was in a field that I knew, for instance, maybe a money management group, and I was part of the process of selecting the money management group, I'm sure that money management group would look out for me some kind of way for giving them $2 million a year of payout.
Right. Here's the thing why that people who want to educate themselves on this issue, they look at the campaign finance reports.
Yeah.
That's going to tell you everything about where all the players are and everything like that. That's the inside baseball. The campaign finance reports tell you everybody who's on who's team.
Yeah, well, those are campaign funds, okay?
Well, yeah, but I mean, people, there's reasonable ways to use campaign funds.
No,
like,
I know.
As far as expenses, what I'm saying, like, so they're gonna look out for. I mean, there's ways to do it without, being quote unquote corrupt. But they doing that. They taking care of the folks who's pushing Norfolk Southern's agenda. Yeah, I mean, it's big business. That's how it works. Whether it's Democrat, Republican, green, purple, they don't care. I know. That's why we can't be caught up in the politics of political parties. You gotta be caught up in ideas.
Here's the other thing. You and I both know this, and I'm not going to accuse anyone or put anybody's name on it, but we did just have 3 city council members get indicted. You know what I mean? We had 3 of them, and all 3 of well, 2 of them are already, been convicted or took a plea deal. The other one, I'm not sure where Pastor is with his situation, if he's already accepted a plea deal. Let's just say, for the argument's sake, that he
pled. Yeah, he pled.
Okay, so now we have 3 convicted city council members. So it shows you that the corruption is there. The possibility of corruption is there. You can't tell me that side deals have not, been done where you can't track the money through campaign funds and stuff like that. I mean, one city official, one city council person pretty much showed that they'll go get cash money from people. You see what I'm saying? They'll get, and not just gifts, but get cash money. That's already been indicted and convicted. So,
well, you also see campaign contributions.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying. So,
like,
I mean, it's that's that's what I'm saying. It goes either way. Like they're gonna try to find a way. Some people get caught. Other people, hey, they're slicking their hair grease.
Yeah, well,
that's I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean,
I know. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, there's nobody's cleaning this game, and with this being a $1.6 billion deal. I mean, that's on the same level as that energy thing up there with Larry Householder. I mean, that was the biggest corruption deal in the state of Ohio. So, like, hey, and he was Speaker of the House. So the reality is, hey, this is happening, but how are people getting around it? There's people getting around it for sure.
For sure. Well, I just wanted to bring up, and I'm glad, thank you for engaging. Thanks for letting us know, giving us your point of view. But I really just wanted to bring up something about what Alicia Reese has been saying lately, and for some odd reason, we can't even bring up the power of what she's saying. The power of it go right.
Bro, she's giving the game away, bro. Like she's telling everybody where the bodies are buried and the way she has to be strategic in how she says it. But if you pay attention to her, you know where to go find these people.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
They know how to figure it out.
But wait a minute.
I also want to speak to what your comment was about the politics up there in Warren County and Mason, as far as the city council, how you don't know the political affiliations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the city council level. So it's the same way in Hamilton County. Like they don't have political affiliations next to Cincinnati City Council candidates. The way people are identified is, hey, parties have a lot of money, so like they send out flyers and do all types of stuff. Drop hella YouTube videos, interrupt my watching, saying who they are, what party they are, and all that, because they play into the demographics or what they think is the demographics.
Right.
But yeah, everybody's nonpartisan on these ballots locally.
Another
School
lie.
boards the same way. Yeah.
Another lie. Another professional lie. Everybody know that they're not bipartisan. Everybody know that when you vote for a certain person,
you mean nonpartisan? Yeah, you're right.
That's a lie. That's just putting some shit on paper to make it sound like it's clean. It's like putting on your Sunday best and you ain't took no shower and shit. You've been dirty for 3 days, but you put your clean clothes on. You still stink. Just because you look clean don't mean you're clean underneath. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that
Absolutely.
is. It's window dressing for some bullshit. The bottom line is, when they got on city council in Cincinnati, you heard that there was 8 Democrats and 1 Republican. You heard who they were. You know who the Republicans are and who the Democrats are when they running for city council in Cincinnati. So to say that they're bipartisan, that they're not affiliated with a party, that's ridiculous. That's just showing.
Well, yeah, right. I agree with you. I mean, the reality is, in these quote unquote nonpartisan races, people get identified. If you read the news media carefully, like they're, in my opinion, biased because they turn around and they want to say our races are nonpartisan, but they identify in the paper as Democrats and Republicans. And I'm like, is that what y'all doing? Like y'all doing that? The papers do that.
So let me
ask you something. The media does that.
Let me ask you something. If I run for city council in the city of Cincinnati, now y'all don't take that crazy. I'm never gonna do that. All right. If I run, this is hypothetical. If I run for city council in the city of Cincinnati, and say, for instance, the Republican Party endorses me. So that means they're going to support me and give me a little bit of money and run behind me and help me out, right? They're going to give me some staff. They're going to help me. So
you'll be. I can tell you that. I mean, I've had experience with the political party in Hamilton County. The only thing they're going to give you is your name on literature, which is a big help for sure because it's name recognition. So they're definitely going to do that.
Well, wait a minute now. Let's not forget about the little parties that they're going to have out in certain areas, and they're going to support me and talk highly of me. Not necessarily everywhere that I'm at, but they're going to be telling their friends, their business leaders, and everybody else.
The friends and business folks are definitely going to look out.
Yeah, well, if I don't get an endorsement from the Republican Party, none of that will happen. So with my hypothetical, if the Republican Party backs me, what is Cincinnati going to see me as if I get on city council?
They're going to see you, if you're going to endorse by the Republican Party, they will view you in the media as a Republican.
Exactly. So we can
but when you go into the ballot box, they don't got no letter next to you. So
that's okay.
They gotta recognize the name.
That's okay.
That's the name game.
But that's okay, because the black radio will look at me and they'll tell everybody. They'll put my name out there and they'll say, he's a Republican. He a black Republican. He this and he that. He was supported and he was endorsed by the Republican Party. See, they'll tarnish my name. They won't even care what the policies are that I believe in and bring to my community. That wouldn't matter.
It don't even matter.
That's
it don't
what I'm
matter.
saying.
In a nonpartisan race, it don't even matter. Just can you say my name 25,000 times? That's all I need.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what they do. Yep.
Exactly, bro. So the thing is identity politics is very strong in Hamilton County.
Yes.
It's very big. And Alicia Reese brought up something to let me, to at least for me to bring something to the show today and just ask people, how do you feel about talking about, let's just say, Republicans, no matter what color they are? How do you feel about blaming all the shit on Republicans and them being powerful and they got this and you're poor because of this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yet you're watching the Democrats play all these backdoor games with the money. They control the money. They control the assets.
They got rich Democrats out here too.
Absolutely.
They got rich Democrats out here too.
And those are I'm going to tell them a secret. The rich Democrats are the one they get richer by how they try to express what's going on in politics. They keep you
Right.
mad at an individual. The way you misdirect some, keep people off of you is you focus and you talk about somebody else all the time. We all know that, right? That's
Right.
simplified. It's very easy to see. People do that all the time in a regular, everyday base. They don't want you to know they can't read, so they talk about somebody else, what they
Right.
wearing today.
They define, Bill Clinton started as define your opponent. That's how he beat George H.W. Bush. Define them. You tell everybody what they are.
Well, that's
Don't
exactly
even look at me. Yeah.
That's exactly what your boy Biden and his team and media did as well. They told you
Oh,
everything that was dirty and wrong with the Trump fella, but yet they never told you who Uncle Joe is. They never told you who he was. You didn't find out that he found out what roaches was and hair growing up off his legs, and the black kids come rub all of his legs. Y'all didn't find that shit out till he was president. You should have been and researched him. You would have known that he was affiliated with certain groups and he done certain things. And yeah, you would know. But see, they tricked us. They brought Cardi B in and all that old goofy ass shit. And they told our people, well, don't like that guy. Don't like that guy and all that old shit. And then y'all didn't even learn who you was voting for. You just you didn't learn.
They call Trump everything but a child of God. And they have no situation where Trump was able to define Joe Biden as a racist because I think his policies, if you look at it when he was in the Senate, weren't for black people.
Well, Joe
Biden just got the benefit of running with Obama. That's it. And people are like, oh, well, Joe Biden got to be cool. He's going with Obama. No, he don't.
No, hell no.
Everybody's playing chess.
Well, wait a minute. If Joe Biden was cool and good because he was rolling with Obama, what about Trump rolling with all the black leaderships in the 80s and the 90s and early what about all of that?
He rolled with Mike Tyson, you know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of successful black people.
We ain't even talking about that. I mean, we could talk about celebrities, okay, but let's talk about leaders. Celebrities. I'm talking about people like the NAACP giving Trump awards and shit like that. I'm talking about what happened to all of that.
Trump was giving the Democrats too when he was a private citizen. He gave money to Democrats. He gave money to Chuck Schumer, I believe.
Well, he gave money to all of them. I'm not going to lie. He gave money to Republicans and Democrats.
Right, both of them, yeah.
So, and he used to be a Democrat. You know what I mean? So
it
doesn't, look, man, here's the thing, bro. It's easy. When you're playing identity politics, the first thing you have to do is diminish an identity. If they don't want me to run in the city of Cincinnati, all they're going to do is go back and say, well, you know what? Wyatt did this, he that, he this, he's a slumlord, he's this, he's that. They could call me, I'm a black Republican. They could say all that shit to diminish who I am as an individual on paper. No matter what my work looks like, that's what they're going to do. That's just politics. That's how it go.
Right. But to get in there, as long as they can say Wyatt 25,000 times, you'll win.
Exactly. Well, hey, Black Russia, you got anything else, brother? Because I'm going to move on.
Hey, man, I don't know if you talk about this fight, but there was a highway robbery on Saturday night.
Tyson Fury?
Man, robbery, bro.
That's how it is.
Yeah, robbery.
Politics are in everything, brother. I'm telling you.
Right, it sure is. Because they wasn't going to mess with that Usyk money. They weren't going to do that.
Nah, he got other things lined up, and they got to get to that money. And that's always about money. When people can't figure shit out, when things don't seem like it's going right, or we don't know why something happened, it might not make sense to you. That's because it's making dollars somewhere else.
Right. Because for instance, Ngannou, in my opinion, he's the linear heavyweight boxing champion of the world.
Yeah.
He the man to beat the man. So like, I don't even care about them belts.
Yeah.
I want to, for instance, Ngannou, he the champ.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Black Russia, I appreciate you, man. What else you got? You got anything else before we go?
Nah, bro. Have a good rest of your afternoon.
You too, brother. Hey, quick question for you, man.
Yo.
Somebody put it in the screen. Let me try to find it. They had a question. Maybe you will know. Let me see something. Let me see if I can find. They ask if you heard anything from Fame. Do you know where Fame is, or do you know anything about Fame?
No.
Okay. I was just wondering, brother, because we haven't heard from him here. I haven't seen him on social media, and I was getting a little concerned.
Yeah, I've had no contact. I'm not really sure. I hope he's okay, though.
Yeah, so do I, man. So, and I'm reaching out to everybody that may have some contact or have some type of, connection with him. And I thought I would ask you because I know y'all were connected at one point.
For sure. Yeah, I hope he's okay, but now we haven't spoken.
Okay, brother. Well, I appreciate it. Hey, you have a safe day. Good weekend to you. It's coming up. It's Friday Eve, and you enjoy your weekend, brother. Go make some money.
Yes, sir. Same to you.
Talk to you.
Peace.
Peace. That's Black Russia. I appreciate him. He don't call in that often, but he always, when he do call in, he always has some type of, political angle. He's in with he's not run, but he's been involved in campaigns with political people. So he's always good to get some information from. So I thought I would ask him. And I wanted to ask him about Fame because they were part of what people call the alt middle, I believe. That was before my podcast time. And him and Fame and a few other people were involved in this alt middle, and they were like this. They were a gang. They were a podcast gang. All right. They was jumping motherfuckers on the podcast. Like if you said something crazy, something like this wasn't going right, they'd jump your ass. Fame a bully. Fame led that shit, him and Black Russia and a few other people. They were called the alt middle. Drop Squad, I believe he was a member of that. So you can you imagine Drop Squad 52 and Fame and Black Russia coming at you? Oh yeah, they was jumping cats. They was jumping them on the podcast and on the radios and stuff. So that was hard to do. But let me do this. I wanna do this. I'm gonna go to the phone lines here in a second. But what y'all might not understand is I'm not trying to convert. I know y'all didn't heard Emmanuel Livingston, my brother from another mother. Y'all didn't heard him say some things about, well, people that talk bad about Democrats, they trying to get you to vote or to convert over to Republicans. No, I'm not. He know that. He know that, and I didn't say that on here plenty of times. I'm just tired of people acting like the Democrats aren't part of the reason why you are where you are. They have been controlling every aspect of what you're doing. They have hidden trick mirrors and doors in those political fields. And for some odd reason, why can't you understand that if you're looking at a $1.6 billion acquisition as a black person in the city of Cincinnati, like what's his name? Well, you got what's her name? Iris Rowley and them, and what's the other brother name? I can't think of it. It's coming off the tip of my tongue. Reverend Lynch, Damon Lynch and them, they got these organizations and they want the respect of how city Cincinnati gonna do with something of a $1.6 billion acquisition. They want the respect. It's Cincinnati. Why didn't y'all come to the NAACP? Why didn't y'all come to our group? Why didn't y'all bring that information to us? Why didn't y'all talk to us before y'all did something with the city's property and land? Why y'all didn't come talk to us? And I told you yesterday, they ain't gonna I can't imagine them getting mad for what I'm saying. This is a matter of my opinion. And this is what I believe to be true. The reason why they didn't come talk to the NAACP, the reason why they didn't come reach out to those independent, strong groups that are in best interest of black folks is because they just showed you the value of what they think of you. They only think of you as a vote. They don't want to enrich you. They don't care to make you an economic dominant or catch you up economically and separate the wealth gap and all that. That's not on the agenda. And now who controls the money and who controls if that is to happen? What party? The same people you voted for. It's not the ones that you currently voted for because city council can't control that money. But I bet you voted for some people on that board. I bet you voted for some of the people on that independent board who didn't do shit for you when they was in the position of the people who can't do shit for you now. Now they're in a more powerful position, unelected. They're in a capacity where you can't do nothing to them. Do nothing to them. They're not even officials. They're not even elected officials. You voted for them. You gave them the power to be once a mayor. Now they're sitting on a board that controls the economic growth of what you and your leadership have been crying and fussing. What does reparations look like to black people in Cincinnati? If I had Damon Lynch on the phone or Iris Rowley, have them call me. I would love to know this because I need to see a plan. I need to know, what does reparations look like in the city of Cincinnati for black folks? Who qualifies for it? How do we get it? I'm not reading that, Tracy Dillingham. I don't care. You can find a way to make your big words red on the screen. I'm not reading it. I don't do, it's my birthday month. It's my birthday year. It's my birthday week. It's the day before my birthday. I don't make those announcements. I told you, I'll say happy birthday on your birthday. Damn it. Only us celebrate a birthday. Do we, any of us, if you got a white friend, raise your hand. This video can't come at a better time. If you got a white friend or an Asian friend or a Jewish friend or a Cuban friend or a Latino friend or a Mexican friend, I'm going to go to the second hand, or an African friend from Africa. If you have a friend from Egypt, if you have a friend from Nigeria, if you have a friend from Germany, raise your hand. And now here's what I'm going to ask you about those 10 friends that you may or may not have. Do any of them celebrate their birthday for a whole month? If your birthday is on December the 6th, like my birthday is December the 6th, I am not about to start celebrating my birthday the first day of December, and I'm going to push it all the way to December 31st. I just don't do it. I'm not about to go to y'all go to the club every weekend, your birthday month. Want people to pin money on you and all that old type of shit. Your birthday was 3 weeks ago, damn it. I ain't giving you nothing. Don't no other culture do that shit. Stop. Leave it alone. Celebrate your birthday on your birthday, folks. Tracy, come on in here with that. All right, so look. All I'm saying to you is this. The people who hold the power are the people that mine is in April. Listen to that. I don't want to say so, but so. Don't do that. I like Linda Reed. I ain't gonna do it like that. Y'all know I got a birthday coming up. My birthday in February. It's November. Stop playing. We don't care. Don't nobody care. My birthday in June. So what? You mean June that just happened like 3 months ago? We need some hobbies in our life. Something we can be proud of. Shit. Don't be just proud of your birthday too hard. Not you, Tracy. I'm talking about people. Yeah, I got a sister-in-law that do that shit. She gonna get mad if she see this, but don't nobody care all month long. See them on the dance floor at the club or whatever, they dancing and shit. Hey, it's my birthday. They still going to little Applebee's and shit. Bring and the little Mexican restaurants. You know how when you tell them it's your birthday, the whole crowd come out from the back and they fixing your food and shit, and they come out there and they do the Torito thing around your table and blah blah blah. And it's your birthday. All that old shit. Your birthday was 3 weeks ago. Damn it, stop having them people come out there running around your table talking about it's your birthday. Your birthday ain't for like 2 weeks. Your birthday is not December. Your birthday has a specific date. Your birthday is not the month of December. Your birthday is December whatever day. Let's leave it alone. All I'm saying to you guys about this Democrat-Republican thing is, I never hear the radio who say so much about them. They can't go one day without saying something about the Republican Party. Not one day without bringing up a clip, saying something. So why is it that if I say something about a Democrat, the energy is different? Oh, he must be a Republican. Nah, y'all say enough about Republicans. I don't have to bring them up. I just want you to understand that the same people that you leaving in the dust and the smoke and you can't see them are the people you voting for. Those are the people that's controlling and making the decisions, putting these little private boards together that you can't do anything about. Those are the people you voting for. Those are the people that control your money. Those are the people that control how you're voting. I'll give you another example. The mayors, and I was going to show y'all this. I got a clip on it. The mayors of some cities that are being bombarded with illegal immigrants, went to the White House today. They didn't go to the White House to tell Joe Biden. See, these are all Democrat mayors. They didn't go to the White House to meet with Joe Biden to tell him, by the way, Joe Biden didn't show up. He sent his official people, his officials that handle that shit. They didn't go there to bitch and complain about the migrants, the illegal migrants. They went there to get money. Folks, what does that tell you? They went there to get money so that could fix the problem. They didn't go there to bitch and complain like the black folks in Chicago are bitching and complaining. They're not there to complain about what's happening to their black folks. They're there to get $5 billion. That's what they want. That's why when you see the mayor of Chicago and he say shit like, well, we're gonna get this handled and blah blah blah. He never calls out. He'll say the U.S. government needs to do something about it. He's not specific. He don't say, well, the administration. If it was Trump, they'd be like, well, Trump want this shit to happen for real. Trump want this to happen anyway. He wants this to happen, and they'll make up some shit of why this is happening. But let's just keep it for what it really is. The reason why the mayor of Chicago and the other mayors won't call out Joe Biden is because they want the money. They want to be able to line some money up in their pockets. The bottom line is this. Thank you, Facebook, for not shutting me down for giving my opinion. You know what they want? They want that $5 billion, and they want to spread it out amongst these cities because we all know that somebody's tragedy is somebody's profit. That's why you got nurses making $20,000. Who know a nurse that make $20,000 a week? Who know a nurse that listen, I didn't say doctor. I said name a nurse that works for the YMCA in any city of the United States of America and make $20,000 a week. That's what's happening in Chicago because the mayor there gets the chance to line up these programs using that migrant money, the $51 million. Y'all see, I played the clip. If you think I'm making it up, it was on, he said, Ross said a night nurse. I guess maybe one, let me leave that alone. It was on the news in Chicago. They did an investigation like Channel 9 in Cincinnati, the I-Team. Like they just did AFTAB on them questions that he was. I ain't never seen. Boy, AFTAB when I-9 sat down. What is that? Channel I-9 News. When I-9 News sat down with Mr. Cool Clean AFTAB, he was shaking like drugstore dice. Boy, he was shaking. I had never seen him out of pocket and so rattled in my life by those questions about the railroad and his affiliation. But now, show me a nurse making $20,000 a week. Thanks, Carolyn Smith. She said, Channel 9 I-Team. Now, I know what I was talking about. They know. Did you see how rattled he was? Well, let me just say this before. I'm going to go back to the phone lines here in a second. Let me just say this. Let me show you this video. See, we can say whatever we want to say. I can give any opinion that I want to give. I can say what I want to say, but it's not like I'm saying this for no reason. The writing is on the blackboard to me. No pun intended. The writing is on the wall, y'all. Alicia Reese is telling you things she can't even really say I don't even know if she mean what she's sharing. She means to tell you, but she ain't saying no shit. Here's how I would say it, because I'm not biased. I'm not with one particular area, and I don't care if Democrats don't like me. I don't care if Republicans don't like me, but I gotta let y'all know how this money is moving. The bottom line is Alicia Reese is telling y'all that these people that are making decisions with y'all money, with taxpayer money and free money or money proceeds from sales, how the people y'all voting for don't control it. That's already obvious. That's been on the table. It's there. She also won't tell you that the people who are making those decisions are Democrats. She won't tell you that. She don't have to tell me. I could piece the puzzle together. These are the same people like this lady here. Let me see if I can put this up again. One more again. Just like this. It's this type of mentality. It's that type of mentality. Eat the rich t-shirt amongst her constituents, the people that voted her in. But she make $150,000 a year representing poor people, and she makes 56% more than the average household. Wait a minute. The average household. I didn't say one person in the crib. That means if a wife and a husband are both working, their combined income is 56% less than their representation. Y'all don't see me? Y'all don't see me? Y'all don't hear me? Y'all don't hear me. So who getting rich? Who really getting rich off the poor? Who really getting rich off the poor? The same ones that try to justify the same ones who justify to you that there's a wealth gap. We all know there's a wealth gap, but what is the common denominator in the wealth gap that they never talk about? We all know there's a wealth gap, but how long are we going to be able to say it was because of the bar situation down in what was that? What's that bar thing in Cincinnati? How long are we going to be able to say because the textbooks in the city of Cincinnati ain't no good? How long are we going to be able to say because the schools in the city, in public school, Cincinnati public schools don't have good curriculum and programming? How long are we going to be able to say that? Because that's what they use. And keep in mind, they control those same entities that aren't any good. See, you can't deny these facts. You can be intelligent and smart and you can debate me, and then you're going to roll back on another point and you're going to try to find yourself saying to me, well, what's the base of these problems? What's the base of it? Well, we all know what the base is, whether we want to admit it or not. The base been gone. The base been gone. The lesson is there. Just like I'm going to tell y'all about this credit card thing here in a few minutes. I'm no genius. I promise you, I know I'm not the smartest guy on. Look, there's guys that do what I do that's better than me at this podcast shit. There's people that do the line of work that I'm in that are better than me. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but what I'm willing to do, what a lot of people aren't willing to do, is I'm willing to share what I've learned. What I've learned over the years, all my L's that turned into lessons, I'm willing to share that with my people. How many of y'all run into people that have come up, won at something, and they willing to pull you in and let you win with them? That's a dying breed. That's a dying breed. You know what I see today? A lot of selfish winners. I see a lot of people who winning at what they winning at, and they need you so they can win even further. And then they fake your ass out like you really part of the winning team. No, they using you. And I want to put this PSA out. People that I paid to work for me, if you do the same work for somebody else, you volunteer your services for somebody that I didn't pay you to do some shit for, don't ever call me ever again in life. Don't ever call, because if you're a volunteer for a slick dude that's cheating and robbing people and slick talking them and doing crazy shit and pimping kids and doing all that, if you're willing to do that to them, but then I'm a nice guy and I'm willing to pay you for doing the same thing for me, you're not the type of person I want to be associated with. You're part of the problem. You're the crab in the barrel situation. You are that. You're the biggest crab next to the biggest crab in the barrel. I said what I said on that. Some people will know what I'm talking about. Some people won't. It ain't for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody. So now this is what I want to do. Alicia Reese then gave y'all this game. And then you look at who you affiliate yourself with, and you pay attention to who is controlling the money. You pay attention to who you think is your friend. You get involved in these identity politics. And then now you got another, this is the dog chasing its own tail situation. And then when you get a brother like me that come along and say something about it, I got to be this, I gotta be something other than what I am. I gotta be called a name. I gotta be identified as a bootlicker or some old kiss ass dude, when in fact, I'm just the opposite. Because nobody that's really trying to teach you how to get to the money is going to tell you how they stopping you from getting to the money. That is never part of the process. Nobody is trying to figure out why you can't get to the money. If you're trying to get to the money, your objective is to take the negative out, TP. You always think how you gonna get to the money, and that's the only conversation you should be having. It ain't. Don't ever. If you will never go into the huddle of a football team and they say we ain't gonna score no touchdown on this drive. Let's just run 3 plays and then punt the ball. If you on a team like that, you on the wrong team. And black folks, we've been punting for damn too long. We just go to the line of scrimmage and run these plays. That's because our leadership, our coaching, all that shit is wrong. And nobody will step up to the plate and tell you the truth. Nobody. And then, okay, say hello to the bad guy, because here I am to tell you. How you going to hire leadership or put leadership in a certain position and all you do is keep failing? When you going to say, well, damn, the leadership must be bad. Oh, no, the leadership got an angle. The leadership can always blame the other team. It's they fault we can't score no touchdown. It ain't your plays ain't no good. It's the other team better than us. They rich. The white folks ain't gonna let us do this. They ain't gonna do this. They control everything. Them white people. They oppressed us. They redlined us. They did this. They ain't getting no bank loan. They this, they that. You keep vouching. You keep bigging up the other team. A real team is going in the huddle saying, fuck it, we about to kick their ass and we going to run these plays right here. We're going to think positive. I don't need 10 yards every play. Give me 3, 4, 5 yards a play. And we're going to march our ass down this field and we're going to score, damn it. I don't want to be on a team with a dude telling me, I'm getting my ass kicked over here. I can't handle it. Put his ass on the bench, coach. He's no leader out here. They keep beating us up, the police. The police, the reason why my baby got all these kids. What? Do you hear yourself? Oh, you think those people over there your friend? You think those your friends because they got your best political interest at hand. They don't look like you, but they think like you. And this is where I get my train of thought from. Watch this clip.
Man cannot have a white man as a friend.
He may have a white man who's friendly, but being friendly and being a friend, I think, are two different things. I think there are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
So a black man cannot have a white man as a friend.
He may
We're in 2023, and that still applies. Now, to my white people that are listening, I don't have a problem with you. Black folks don't have a problem with white people. But I will say this to you. White liberals run the Democratic Party, and they have tricked black people to believe that they're the friend. If you're saying that shit in 1965, 66, and it still applies, If they've been saying it since then and it still applies and it's alive today, it makes it a fact to me. Well, how's that a fact, Wyatt? Well, because the game is still going on. Is it true that an NFL football team is called a dynasty when they win so many Super Bowls? Right? They have an era of time that makes them successful. They're a dynasty at what they do. So isn't it true that, I mean, that's a fact, right? So wouldn't you think that the Democrats have a dynasty of a division? They have a dynasty because they have everybody thinking that they're the friend. And how I can prove it is this. You need a receipt? Do you need a receipt? If you need a receipt, say, yeah, I need a receipt. Why? Because the shit you talking is ridiculous. I need a receipt. Why? Your shit sound crazy. Say it. Go ahead. Call me. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me Malcolm wrong. Tell me the shit that I'm talking about right now is not affiliated with today. Tell me them board members over there, those private board members that have been appointed and all former mayors of Cincinnati who are all previously Democrats who want to control that $1.6 billion don't fit the mold of what's going on, that white people didn't put them in the place that they are today, and now they control the destiny. They don't want to give the black people, they didn't even pay the black people any respect. NAACP getting no words. I'm going to give you another piece of game. They didn't chose all these black neighborhoods to do these meetings with the railroad sale. I hate calling it the railroad sale. It's a land acquisition sale. They didn't even name it right, but that's okay. It is what it is. They didn't had all these meetings in the black neighborhood, and they talking about Winton Terrace. Last night or the day before, whenever it was, the last meeting they had was in Winton Terrace. The question on the radio was, why didn't residents from Winton Terrace show up? You want me to tell you? Do you want the truth? Can you handle the truth? Can you really handle the truth? The reason why nobody in Winton Terrace from Kraft, Glen Estee, and all that old shit didn't show up is because they don't care. They don't fucking care. You know why they don't care? Because they don't own Winton Terrace. They don't own Winton Place. Whatever the fuck y'all do with it, they gonna just have to roll with it. See, it's a difference. If Democrats taught their people or their constituents how to be owners and how to own some shit and how to be winners at what we do and to be dominant at what we do, we would take a different pride in what the decisions are being made on. We don't do that. We just roll with the flow. We just accept whatever's given to us. That's the problem. Why would you think people in Winton Terrace would give a shit about a damn railroad train? They don't care nothing about that shit. And I heard the little sneak dissing. See, I wouldn't even have affiliated it like this, but I heard you say it. That man said, well, if Usher was coming in town, they all would have knew. He's right. Because they give a shit more about Usher than they do that train. He's right. They say, well, how do we start letting black folks in the black communities know more about these issues? Black people that don't own nothing don't care about nothing. I said it. They don't care. And I don't mean they don't care about nothing. They don't care about nothing like that because there's no benefit in it for them. They don't pay property taxes. They don't pay for the streets and shit to get shoveled. They have no ownership in the mine. So why should they care what happens with money that they can't do nothing with? So if you put it on the Wiz radio or black radio and you put it, no, you're going to need Sexy Red to come on and do a fucking promo on go down there and vote. Joe Biden showed you how to do it. He went and got Cardi B. They wanted 18-year to 25-year-olds who had never voted before. He wanted Cardi B because that's how you get through to people. Cardi B didn't convince not one person on this damn podcast to vote. She didn't convince none of us to go down there and vote for Trump or Biden because she wasn't for us. She was for the people they was trying to reach in that nucleus. Y'all know that to be true. So why would he go get somebody like Cardi B? You know she don't have no damn voters that are like conscious of shit. If he could have got an extra 500,000 or 1,000,000 votes out of her 30 million followers, she was worth whatever he gave her. So the answer to the people on the radio who was just trying not to say what they really wanted to say, how do you reach the black folks in the city of Cincinnati, in the Winton Terrace area, to come out to these meetings and get the proper information about the railroad sale? The people in Winton Terrace don't give a shit. I used to work in Winton Terrace, and I'm telling you right now, they don't care nothing about no damn railroad. Yes or no don't mean nothing to them. Now it should. Let's be honest, let's be grown. It should, but it don't, because they haven't been taught to know it. They haven't been taught to even care. They see no benefit in it. If they were paying property taxes, if they had some interest, some economic growth in the city, they would pay more attention. But now let's keep in mind, we talk about affordable housing, we talk about all these things, and we big it up and we talk about it. Don't think that I'm down on it, but let's be honest. If we fight for equality in knowledge as much as we fight for equality in lifestyle, equality in knowledge is what gets you a better lifestyle. When you start talking about these root of all problems and these base problems and shit, that's when you're just coming out of a condition. We ain't just coming out of any condition. We got plenty of black folks, black young men and black beautiful young women that are graduating from major universities every year, 3 or 4 times a year. But when you got a president of the United States who feels like he can read a script that he didn't write and tell those same children that the biggest thing they have to face in America right now is white supremacy, that's exactly who Malcolm X is talking about. He is that white liberal who's trying to make you believe he has your best interest at heart. And I'll battle anybody on this debate. I'll battle any of you. You're so busy trying to talk about one man ain't no good for you, but the guy that you love, your ex-boyfriend, your ex-man, is the biggest liberal, and he'll go with the flow. I just played a video 2-3 weeks ago. Joe just said him or Obama say no to same-sex marriage. Now this motherfucker having picnics on the White House lawn with transgenders and all this other shit. He's a politician. He don't care nothing about what the truth is. He don't really care about what he said last week. I just read that shit, Wyatt. I didn't mean it. I read the shit they told me to say. And the reason why a lot of people can't criticize him, because you're staying on code. You're staying on code. You're staying on code. That's why your mayor of Chicago went over to the White House today, him and other mayors, they went over to the White House today, and they didn't say anything about Joe Biden or the administration. They kept saying the government. The government need to. The government needs to do this. The government needs to do that. The government. Let me show you how this guy. Now, y'all want to say a sellout? You want to call a black man like me a sellout because I challenge us? No, I call a sellout somebody that's selling people out and he's prospering. He's making good on it. He's lining his pockets up, keeping people in certain conditions. Look at how this guy, the mayor of Chicago, talked about his visit to the White House today. He doesn't name the administration for being at fault for these bad policies. He says the government needs to do something. Be more specific. Y'all know if Trump was in the White House or any other Republican was in the White House, this would be a Republican problem. It wouldn't be a government problem. It would be a Republican problem. They would specify it. Just like everything on black radio in Cincinnati. Every time they want to say something that's dealing with politics, they use Republicans as their base of the problem. Listen to these crazy Republicans, as if y'all don't have dudes crazy enough to pull fire extinguisher alarms and shit to stop Congress. Y'all do the same shit, if not worse. Talk about your boyfriend currently, leave the other one alone.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. Hi, Mr. Mayor. So what was your your message to the White House, and what did you hear what you wanted to hear?
Sir, can we have you stand on this side just for the sun?
Oh, I appreciate you looking out for me.
Mayor's going to make a couple of remarks, and then you can go with your question. Go ahead, Mayor.
All right, cool. Well, today I had the opportunity to meet with the Chief of Staff to the President of the United States, as well as his senior advisor, about the significant challenge that we are experiencing in the city of Chicago and cities across this country around those who are seeking asylum here in this country. And, you know, in order for us to meet this moment, we're going to need significant investment from the federal government. And I've made our ask very clear that the supplemental moment that we're in, the opportunity to fund critical services throughout the entire country, providing support for bordering cities as well as cities like Chicago and New York and Denver. You know, $5 billion is not an unreasonable demand, particularly at a moment when there's such a tremendous need. And so, you know, today was just really reinforcing what all of us are experiencing around the country, whether it's in Denver, Chicago, or New York, or Los Angeles, or El Paso, or Brownsville.
Yeah, I didn't realize this problem that's happening in Chicago is happening to other cities, just like Chicago. I just bring Chicago to the table because I like Chicago. But what y'all don't know is there's black people in all these cities that he's mentioning that have the same problem. They all have the same problem. They're putting these immigrants, illegal immigrants, in all the black neighborhoods, the black areas. And that's why they're doing what they're doing. And then here you are with this Democrat mayor right here who won't say it for what it is. He's up there begging for money so he can continue to pay his niece or whoever else it is $20,000 a week, build these little programs up for these immigrants. They're using the immigrants to line their pockets. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're using this crisis to capitalize on it, and they won't call it out for what it really is. Now, the last time I checked, y'all called these type of people when Trump was in office and this type of shit was going on, and they was at the border. You had all the AOCs and all the politicians from the Democrat Party going down to the border with their cameras and taking these pictures, and they was down there crying, but they're not saying shit about these 12-year-old girls being sick. Do you know there's 80,000? There's 6 million people, period. There's 80,000 little boys and girls that they can't find. They can't find them. 80,000 of these kids are in, and I don't want to say a sex trafficking ring, but they know that's big business. How do you not know where 80,000 children are in the United States of America coming in from the border? And you not talking about that. You talking about we need money. We need $5 billion. Come on, folks. Come on, folks. Come on, folks. You know what y'all, and here go what another thing the Democrats just did. Y'all took a 10-year-old little girl from Columbus, Ohio, who got pregnant by a illegal immigrant. And y'all using that situation to push your abortion narrative. See, this is why abortion should be legal. Because we got 10-year-old girls being statutory raped by grown men, and they should be able to get abortions. You should be ashamed of yourself if you use this in your argument of abortion. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should feel like shit. You should feel like shit if you even hear. I heard a commercial. There is a commercial out right now playing in the Cincinnati area, probably throughout everywhere in the region. They're saying this 10-year-old girl from Columbus lived in Columbus, Ohio. Y'all know this happened a year ago. Grown-ass illegal immigrant rapes her or whatever. They had a situation going on. She gets pregnant. And in Ohio, they don't want to do the abortion on her. They can't find a doctor that'll do an abortion, so they took her to Indianapolis. Remember that about a year ago? Now they're using it in a commercial of why abortion should be legal for situations like this. Nobody's saying, well, if our borders were put together right, if Joe Biden wasn't letting 8 million illegal immigrants in, and if 80,000 children wasn't missing, maybe we wouldn't have 10-year-olds out here pregnant by illegal immigrants. Wouldn't that see how some people want to just bitch and complain about the outcome and never bring up the cause of it? Hypocrites. This man right here is up there asking for money. The money is not going to solve the problem. The money don't stop them from coming. The money only motivates them to come. The more money Chicago and these cities, and this is taxpayer dollars, the more money we spend on these illegals coming here, illegal immigrants coming here, the more we spend, the more gonna come. Now, let me tell you another thing they're trying to do. They're trying to make it where these guys get 5 billion taxpayer dollars, and they want to give these folks the right to work. Black folks, we don't even have our entry-level shit together yet. The Democrats who predominantly govern a certain portion of America, y'all know what it is. Let's just be honest. Y'all govern poor people. And all you doing right now is bringing undocumented poor people into a society and giving them more than you already give your unprivileged or your reduced society people. You're giving these people more than you're giving your hometown people. Now, what sense does that make? What party does that? The wolf. The wolf does that to him. You didn't let the wolf in the hen shack, whatever they is. I ain't no country boy. Y'all know the hen house. You didn't let the wolf in. Damn it, and he didn't let other wolves in. And they gonna get them jobs. They get an education. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. You can get mad at me if you want to. I was doing the numbers last night, and it's what motivated me to say what I'm about to say to you. My daughter is graduated from Ohio State University, right? We have $170,000, that's $174,000 in student loan bill. $174,000, and now we got to look for a whole nother $300,000 of medical school. My daughter will be $500,000 in debt. We will be $500,000 in debt. I have another daughter at Belmont University, first year there. She had some scholarships and this and this and that. By the time she get out of school, she's going to be up in the ends of about $82,000 in debt. And now she has to go to medical school, and that's going to be another $300,000. So both my kids combined, we'll have as a family, as a Wyatt family, we'll have $1 million in debt for school. And you're going to try to tell me that I'm supposed to pay for somebody else's school, and I'm supposed to be okay with somebody coming here undocumented. Look, I'm all about immigration, but you got to do it right. I love immigration. I was an immigrant in another country. I know the feeling. Okay, this isn't about me not liking someone. It's not about me thinking I'm better than someone. It's none of that. What it is, folks, is this. How is it fair for you and I, especially black folks? How is it fair for us? Why do you have a black person in America being $500,000 in debt, $1 million in debt for education in this country, and then you bring an immigrant here illegally, and they qualify and they get all these grants and they'll be able to go to school? If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's starting right now. They're already putting these children that are not even supposed to be here, they're not here legally, they're already putting them in our public schools in Chicago, in New York, in Denver, all these cities, San Antonio, all these cities, they're putting these children who are not U.S. citizens in our public schools. We're already saying in our communities that public schools aren't serving our needs. Make it make sense. Now you know my analogy of what a wolf is. Now you know what Malcolm was talking about. Because I'm going to tell you right now, whether you like it or not, them people not coming here to lay down. They're not coming here to be left behind. That's what I love about them. That's what I love about them. I'm not even mad at them, because if I was them, I'd do the same thing. You got 3,500 migrants on their way here in a caravan. I don't mean the Chrysler Plymouth caravan. I'm talking about in a caravan, walking in a group on their way to the southern border to take advantage of everything that we are given. That $5 billion of taxpayer dollars, I wish I can get $1 million for my children. We ain't even been taken care of yet. And you know what's crazy? Black folks in this country, if you a Democrat, you so on code, you don't even understand that this is happening to you. You talking about reparations all day, every day. How does a person get reparations before us that don't even live here, never helped build the country? How do your reparations is exactly what they getting? Listen, the mayor of Chicago is not up at Washington right now asking for reparations for black folks. He's up there asking for $5 billion for another group of people. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? You call me a coon. If I'm a coon or a sellout, what is he? And he's in your group. Let me ask you something. Can I go to Mexico? Can I go to Ukraine? Well, no, they under attack. But Ukraine is here now too, getting exactly what the migrants are getting down at the southern border. The Afghanistans are getting the same thing. Come on, folks. How could you be, listen, this ain't gonna sound right, but I mean it genuinely, and I mean it strongly, and I mean it from my heart, and I don't mean to diss anybody, but I only know this person's name because I know she got love for black folks, and I know she go hard for black folks. But how could you be an Irish Rolly and not really have a fight? Part of their fight for reparations should be what we're seeing right now. Black folks should be arguing with the Democratic Party about how you taking care of somebody else before you take care of us. If black folks was treated right, we would have what they call tribal land like the Indians have. Think about it. When was the last time you seen shit? Y'all really think Indians give a shit about their head being on the side of a football helmet? They don't care about that shit because they've been settled. They reparations have set in years and years ago. They got reservations. They got Indian land. They got they got the casino reservations and shit like that. They don't pay taxes. And we sitting here talking about the Democrat Party got our backs, and all they doing right now is showing how much they had your back as a black person by giving reparations. Not, you can't even name it reparations. You got to call it what it really is. They giving them a whole new fresh start of life. Meanwhile, they got people here that we got to pay for our life. We done built the country. Now we got to pay for our life. Where my people at? Where my chaos agents who gonna say some shit like this? Well, what the Republicans gonna do for us? You missing the whole point. You think the people that you voting for gonna do this shit for you when it's obvious that they're not. The Republicans may not do it for you either. But if you're not even trying to do something different, then the same thing is going to happen to you. It's been proven. I just played the clip of my brother, Malcolm X, who's been telling you some shit that's been happening since the 60s. Been telling you this shit since the 60s and nothing's changed. You know what's changed? The white liberal don't use the white liberal to be the Democrat anymore. They get people like this to do the white liberals' work. And they call themselves Democrats. And they make 56% more than the average black household. Now, who's the sellout? Who's the fucking coon? Why you mad at me for telling you the truth? Listen more about what he got to say. $5 billion man.
That these challenges are significant, and we're going to need a significant investment from the federal government.
Did you hear what you wanted to hear then? What was the response?
Well, what we heard was that the president certainly understands that this crisis is a moment that we have to be responsive to. I did hear that there is a commitment to help support and operationalize our system here of care. However, I'm going to continue to push to make sure that those investments that are made are investments that are made in our education system, We have significant violence around this country, particularly around mass shootings. And so, we brought up the need to make sure that these investments are addressing all of the crises that people are experiencing across this country.
But doesn't that support bring more people here then across the border illegally?
Well, remember that these are individuals who are seeking asylum, so they are protected by international law, right? So there's a dynamic there that I believe that we have to continue to understand. And this is why I've said repeatedly that foreign and foreign policy and policy that it impacts the globe, has to be far more thoughtful. I've said repeatedly that sanctions placed on places like, Central and South America are exacerbating the crises. And so I'm grateful that President Biden has eased some of those sanctions. Really this is about investing in the people across this country. Look, the needs that exist in San Antonio, particularly around education and housing, are the needs that exist in places like Chicago, like education and supporting our neighborhoods that have been riddled with violence, right?
Bro, what the fuck you talking about? You went up there about a migrant problem, illegal migrants. And that's exactly what Democrats do. They divert to all these other issues that have nothing to do with what they really up there to talk about. You're talking about gun violence. You're talking about the environment. What do they call it? Green. What do they call it? Shit. The heat and shit. The global warming and shit. Like, what are you talking about, bro? The black folks of Chicago ain't send your ass up there. You went up there to go pimp. You went up there to get some money. You went up there to get some money. The black folks in Chicago is screaming about why y'all doing this to us. You should be up there arguing and fighting for what they talking about. You talking about some on code shit. You staying on code, and these people, I hope my people in Chicago see this dude. I hope they see that he's not really up there representing them. He talking about gun violence and all this old other shit. You up there to get $5 billion for illegal immigrant placement. Don't switch up the conversation and talk about some climate control, talk about the school system and all that old shit. You ain't been up there trying to get $5 billion for the black community until the illegals came in. The fuck you talking about? Explain to us, Mr. Mayor, who is this nurse making $20,000 a week? Tell us who that is. Tell us who that is making $10,000 a week. $20,000. Y'all know I played it. It ain't the I-9 or I-Team report. Put the shit on blast. These people over there working for the YMCA making $20,000 a week. I knew I should have got in politics. I knew I should have got in politics. My mama told me a long time ago, you gonna be a leader. You probably gonna be either a preacher or a politician. I said, well, close. Close. But y'all do know that was the first PPP problem we had in our community. PPP been out for a long time. Y'all do know that, right? Who remember what those 3 P's were? We didn't have PPP problems in the black community for the longest. And we've been owing them, and they've been making money, and we've been going to jail for them. Y'all know some people, y'all know personal people here lately for the crisis of the COVID that went to jail for PPP shit. Right? Well, we've been getting in trouble with the PPP for the longest. Pimps, politicians, and preachers. That was the PPP back then. Let me let you finish hearing this shit.
So as much as we need a real operational approach, as well as Congress to come up with sensible policy, we need investments that will help our cities thrive. And being here with Mayor Mike Johnston from Denver has certainly been supportive, and Mayor Eric Adams has had to deal with this challenge for some time. And so investments that are being asked and pushed for in this moment are really about making sure that we're not forgetting the needs of the people who have been here, while also making sure that we're providing a system of care for those who are seeking asylum here in the country.
Do you get any indication of a timeline of when the White House, the administration might be able to provide any help to cities like Chicago at this point in time. You know, it's heading into the winter months.
Yeah.
I know that housing is a challenge right now. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, look, there's a short window here. As I said, speaking with with President Biden's chief of staff, as well as his senior advisor, within the next couple of weeks, we have to get something done. And so, you know, we're going to continue to do our part to push our allies, not just in the state of Illinois, but around the country. Along with Mayor Johnston is with me today as well, Mayor Johnston. And we're going to continue to work together to challenge our allies on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, to put forth these investments with expediency. And so, you know, the short window that we have right here is why there's such an urgency on my part as well as Mayor Johnston's part.
Mayor Johnson, Ted Hessen with Reuters. Thank you for coming out here today.
You're welcome.
I wanted to ask you, we've seen videos of people sleeping in tents on the streets of Chicago, and you all have seen this coming for some time, right? You've known that the temperatures are going to get cold, and is there a reason that there isn't some sort of temporary shelter set up in Chicago yet where you can house people?
There are temporary shelters that we've set up. In fact, since I've been mayor for 5 months, I've set up a new shelter every single week. We've received 150 buses just in this last month. And, you know, we continue to work to make sure that there are dignified places in which individuals who are seeking asylum can actually lay their heads.
You guys do realize that black people in Chicago are not asking him to do this. They're not asking him to go up there and ask for money for resources for the immigrants. They don't want them there. They don't want them there. They're, you know, it's a problem. They don't want it. And he don't care because he's part of the program. He's part of the movement of the liberal who put him there. They placed him there. And like I've been telling y'all for the longest, the reason why you have a black lady controlling Cincinnati public schools is because when the grades come down, when you get a 1 out of 5, it's a lot easier for the black community to deal with a black lady being in charge. Give the sister a chance to get it right. That's all we've been hearing for 30 years. When you put a black person in charge of some black people shit, when it comes to these assigned positions and all that old shit, that really means something to black folks. Our education system at a wee PP age, you put people that they know is a soft, you know what I'm saying? I just said it a million times. Give me a black mayor, I ain't gonna treat him that bad. You give me a black mayor, if it's a man or a woman, I ain't gonna treat him that bad. I'm gonna give him some leeway. Well, this black mayor in Chicago, the black mayor, Mr. Adams, in New York, and all these guys, man, they really showing what the program really is. They showing how they have to stay on code. This man has not mentioned Biden's name not one time for being the problem of what's going on in Chicago. He's going up there asking President Biden for some money for a solution for somebody else. Oh my God, I don't see how y'all don't see this shit. I mean, you do see it. But those that are on code, when the black radio gonna talk about this? When is black radio gonna talk about black people instead of talking about the bad white people? Because there's plenty of bad white people you could talk about that's puppeteering the black people. But you don't have them people's name in your mouth. You talk about Trump all day and the dirty Republicans everywhere else, but you don't talk about the dirty people on your side that's controlling black people. Does it hurt your feelings? Let's be honest. Does it hurt? Or you on code too? The reason why they won't talk about, y'all will talk about a shooting. You'll wait 3 months from now for the next shooting to happen and it be white people involved, a random shooting. You can't wait for the next mass shooting to happen somewhere in America so it'll be something to talk about them dirty ass white people. Meanwhile, them dirty ass white people can't catch up with the homicides in Chicago, New York, St. Louis. They can't catch up. You would need probably one mass shooting a week to catch up with the homicides that's happening in the black community. You would have to average 15 to 18 people dying in mass shootings to keep up with the mass shootings that's happening in St. Louis, Chicago, all these places that's ran by the same Democrat people that are up there talking about ceasefire on Israel, on Hamas by Israel. Cori Bush and them are up there crying and screaming, and I mean literally crying about ceasefiring in Hamas. They've been dropping bombs, financing the war on Russia and Ukraine. And now they up there screaming, stop dropping bombs. Stop dropping bombs on Hamas. And you got Cori Bush, who's a black Democrat out of Missouri, who represents St. Louis, where black folks are dying by the hundreds in her city yearly. What is she doing talking about ceasefire anywhere other than St. Louis? Why is she talking about ceasefire? She needs to be talking about ceasefire in St. Louis. Bottom line. Nobody's saying anything about that. Where they at? Where are all the chaos agents at when the real shit is going on? They want to talk about the railroad trains. They want to talk about all this shit. Y'all ain't part of that shit, no way. They gonna do what they gonna do with that $1.6 billion, and you talking about reparations and ain't gave nobody no plan. What does reparations look like? I just gave you a blueprint. You want me to do the work? If I do the work, you gonna pay me, damn it. I created my own reparations as a black man. I created my own. Any opportunity, y'all know I don't take over leftover opportunities. An opportunity is something that you cease and you control. I'm not going to sit back and wait for somebody to give me an opportunity so I can now be something, find my own economic growth in somebody else's opportunity. Fuck all that. I create my own shit. We all need to do that. And one party don't teach you, don't even let you dangle like that. They want to control you by putting things in your pocket. They pacify you. They pacify you. And as long as you're getting a little something, that'll keep them quiet. That'll keep them quiet. Let's give them a little of this. Let's give them $300 a week. Now let's give them $600 a week. The only reason why y'all didn't see the game in COVID is because when the money started coming in, none of the shit really mattered. You know, you got paid to keep your kids at home. Keep them dumb, plumb dumb. They were already 2, 3 years, 4 years behind in schoolwork anyway. You got 11th graders with 3rd grading reading levels. Here come COVID. Now they ain't getting institutional. They're not getting in-house. They're not getting right. They're not even getting teachers. They're not getting teacher help. They learning on the internet. Now they done went from a 3rd grade reading level. They 11th graders get to the 12th grade with a 3rd grade reading level. And they passing them. And now they have no skills or they have nothing to really survive out in this world, but an easy way to go through it. And the only reason why parents allowed Randy Wingard and the teachers union across this country, the only reason why y'all allowed that to happen is because they pacified your ass with $600 a week, $300 a week, stimulus checks, and you didn't care where your kids was going. You didn't care that they didn't go to school. They had you scared on some bullshit called COVID. Private schools were still going to school. Catholic schools were still going to school. You know who wasn't going to school? The same people that you say behind ain't getting shit. They don't get the right food in the school. All that old shit. Those same people are the ones that got pushed back another 2, 3 years of learning. Meanwhile, the teachers union got paid. They got more and bigger contracts. They stayed home. They still got their check. They got the stimulus check. They got everything. You know who pushed that shit? Liberals, white liberals. Push that shit on y'all. They pacified you. They wouldn't have been able to push that shit off on you if you wasn't getting no money. You would have thought about it. Like, wait a minute, I ain't getting nothing for this. You would have thought about it. And the one thing you didn't think about was this, and I used to say it. Y'all had a podcast in Cincinnati who used to push that shit. It's COVID. You got to leave your kids at home. All that old shit, because he could stay home all day with the kids. That's what that shit was about. But the bottom line is this. I used to say it then, and I'll say it now. Y'all ain't saying shit about these kids not going to school, and you using COVID as the excuse. They in the house between the hours of 8 in the morning to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you see they little punk asses at Chunky Cheese, up at Kenwood Mall, Tri-County Mall. They all over the place in the city of Cincinnati. They everywhere but school. Make it make sense. They just dumb down our kids right in your face, and you got paid for it. Liberals. You won't even say shit about how they cutting off kids' little PPs and having these little girls transforming kids. You won't even say nothing as a Democrat Party when they got kids coming over here being trafficking kids. That's under your administration, 80,000 kids missing in America. Because you want to stay on cold. Because the Democrats are nowhere near as dirty as the Republicans. Anybody heard on black radio what's going on in Chicago? Anybody in the radio listen to black radio and they talk about what's going on with the border? Has anybody heard anything talk about on black radio? Y'all talk about Florida. You talk about Florida. That's why I told y'all the lady from what's her name? What's her name? The lady that owned the Radio One or whatever. She got the nerve to talk about what Florida doing, what we doing in Florida. All this shit that's going on to black people in all these major cities. Did you know Democrats run 75 out of 100 of the major cities in America? They run 75 of them. Out of 100, they run 75 of them. And every one of them that got the rah-rah shooting and the bang-bang going up, they run it. And they got you so manipulated that you believe it's the Republicans' fault for the problems you have in your own home. I'm never going to call anybody brainwashed anymore. I'm just going to say the word you're convinced. Because I'm going to tell you something. Honestly, when you tell somebody they brainwashed, that's offensive. It is an offensive way of telling somebody that they're wrong or that they're thinking wrong. So I'm not going to use that terminology again. I'm not going to say, boy, you brainwashed. I'm not going to do that because you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a punch. It sounds like a pun at them. It sounds like, I'm shooting a shot. No, if I say it like this, boy, you sure are convinced that them damn liberals got your back. You sure are convinced that George Soros is pushing millions of dollars into these communities, getting district attorneys that don't prosecute crimes, making it hard for people to be outside at nighttime, making it hard for stores and retail units to stay open. Do you know what happens when these major stores, store chains, Kroger's, Walmarts and all that shit? Do you know what happens to your community when these stores shut down? Do you know that they sometimes now go to, online shopping? What happens to the black community when these stores go on to online shopping now? What happens when they don't need tellers and clerks and staffing at the stores? What happens to our community? What happens? Think about that. Every time we do these retail bust-ins and these stores are dying off and these restaurants are shutting down and closing and all that old shit, that hurts the workforce. If your workforce is being diminished, what community do you think hurts the most? I'll wait. I'm going to tell you this, whether you like this shot I'm about to shoot. Anybody that's sitting back fighting for minimum wage, if you one of these chaos agents hollering about minimum wage, then you should be the same agent who just understood my point of these type of stores shutting down and closing. It don't matter if minimum wage is $25 an hour. If the building ain't there because they losing business and they can't stay open because of crime or whatever else, if the building ain't there, you could be paying $100 an hour, but ain't nobody there because the business not there anymore. They are online business now. They cut their workforce by 80%. Make it make sense. So why would you want somebody like a George Soros, who's a billionaire, and he's obviously a white liberal, and he has thrown millions of dollars into people like, I'll give you a perfect example. I'm losing her name right now. The prosecutor in New York. The prosecutor in New York got a lot of money from George Soros because she was on a mission to get the Trump guy. The more people that will prosecute Trump, the better their mission is for him not to win, right? We don't understand that's how the game go because we've been victims of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're a victim of something, you don't really think about what somebody did to be able to victimize you. You're focused on how you got victimized. Somebody break in your house. The first thing, you don't care. The first thing you don't really think about how they broke in. The first thing you do is run through the house and see what all was taken. Oh, they stole this. They got that. They got this. They did this. They did this. They got this. They got this. And now you ready to tell the police everything you lost. Fill your insurance form out or whatever. This is what I lost. Okay, now the police come tell you, well, they broke in through the back window, sir, blang, blang, blang. You focused in on what you lost. I just want to say this to the people. You focused in on 91 indictments, but you're not focused in on why those indictments came. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some of you don't because you think I'm justifying Trump. I just want you to see what I see to play. And I also see who the white liberal is using to make these indictments happen. If you don't see that, see, it would be different if it was people, if they were indicting him in certain areas because there was really a solid case there. And I'm not suggesting that some of these things aren't solid. What I'm telling you is, do you remember the show that I did? Because there's a few new people here. Do you remember the show we did when I was like, let me tell you what this New York case is? First of all, it's a civil case. For those that don't know, there's a huge difference between a civil indictment and a criminal indictment. A civil indictment is about money. Just cause, it's about money. A criminal indictment is you've done something criminal to someone and you can go to jail for it. Like OJ. OJ was found not guilty criminally for murder, but he was found guilty on a civil case for that same murder. You understand? They're saying that he did something, but he just didn't get caught. Now, I don't understand that shit. I've never understood it since my existence in legal. I just don't understand the principle I don't understand the principle of that argument. I don't see how you can find me not guilty of murdering somebody, but you can find me guilty civilly of being involved in the murder or being part of it, but yet you didn't have enough evidence to find me guilty criminally. That blows me away. I've been in this shit a long time in my life, and it just blows me away whenever I see something like that. I think it's an unjust, but that's just my opinion. How would you like it if somebody gagged your son or had you down at the Justice Center and they said, oh yeah, you was selling, you killed Mr. Johnson in the store over there. We seen you do it, but then you get off. You didn't do it. You didn't do it, but then here come Mr. Johnson and them family. Gonna sue you and your family for everything you have. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on. I was found not guilty of his murder. Well, you were in the store that day that it happened. They might not have been able to find you guilty civilly or criminally, but you guilty of it civilly because we know you were in the store and we know you had something to do with it. And then I lose the case civilly, and they sued me for $1 million. But I didn't go to jail because they couldn't find me guilty of committing the murder. I want to share something with you, and then I'm gonna let everybody go. I want you to understand what this New York trial is. For those that want to be educated on it, that's cool. If you don't, you can go ahead and bounce. It's cool. I just want you to understand what it is. And it's not a long process. I'm just going to give you an example. I've already done it. If I fill out an application for a car loan, the car is $50,000. I fill out an application to get a loan for $50,000, and they accept it. They accept the loan application, and they grant me $50,000 plus whatever the taxes is for the car. Give me a monthly payment. The payment is $700 a month or whatever, and it's a 5-year loan. I make my first payment, second payment, third payment. I make 60 payments. I pay it off. And at the end of the loan, I get the title to the car. Now the car is mine. Now here come the government, because the government backs the loan of the bank. They back that loan. FDCI. They back the loan. They found out on my application that I told them I made $150,000 a year when I only really make $100,000. I lied on my application that they gave me a loan on the car for. That's my crime. My crime is I lied on the application. I inflated my income to be able to get that loan for that car. Nobody was hurt. I made all my payments on time. It wasn't taxpayer money. I made all my payments on time. I put the down payment on the car, was my money. I drove it. I took care of the car. It didn't have a scratch on it. Nothing was wrong with the car. I didn't hit nobody with it. I didn't murder anybody in it. I didn't give bootleg cabs and shit in it. I didn't do any of that. But 7 years later, now I didn't have the car a whole year after it's paid off. The feds come knock on my door and tell me that I lied on my application. I inflated my income to be able to get that car right there that you've been driving paid off. Now I'm facing charges. If that was in the newspaper and everybody that knows Wyatt, you was like, I knew he was a crook. I knew he was up to no good. He'd be on that podcast talking all that shit. Is that a reason for you not to like me because I got charged for inflating my income to be able to get a loan? You would call me fraudulent and all that old shit, not even understanding that these people that Melissa Powers being the prosecutor in Cincinnati just want to make me look bad. Yeah, I probably committed a crime. I probably committed a civil act. I didn't commit a crime. I committed a civil act. I committed something that won't send me to jail, but I could pay a fine or a penalty for. But in the eyes of Cincinnati, Melissa Powers, and I love her to death, so I'm just using this for argument. Melissa Powers can turn around and tell the city of Cincinnati, we just dropped 6 indictments on Randall Wyatt in the city of Cincinnati for misrepresenting his income, misrepresenting his assets. Now, how does that make me look in the public? And if I was running for city council, you wouldn't vote for me because what you would say is, if he'll lie to get ahead for himself and this and this and this and that, then he would never be good for city council. Especially if me being on city council is about to expose what AFTAB is doing, what these what the railroad boards are doing. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to act a fool. I'm going to tell y'all everything like Alicia Reese be telling y'all. They can't have that. Let's make him look bad. Let's indict him on some shit. Let's take his credibility away because he's not part of the circle. Now, some of y'all might understand where I'm going with it. And then some of y'all might think that I'm just trying to take up for this dude because you just don't understand that this is a civil case. And it makes me look like a criminal because now I'm in the court system. Now I look like a criminal because I got some indictments. I got charged. Just because I got charged don't mean I'm going to jail. It don't mean I'm going to lose a civil case, because to get an indictment is the easiest thing in the world for a prosecutor to do. I told you that when the police officers didn't get indicted on the Breonna Taylor case. I told you that what's his name? Daniel Cameron, who's running for governor, who was the GA over in Kentucky. I told you he wasn't about to indict those police officers. I could tell how long it was taking, how they were getting things together. So when they come back with a no bill on a no bill means that they're not going to get an indictment. So when they come back with a no bill, that means that they didn't get an indictment. I told you that was going to happen. Just looking at the evidence, reading what happened, knowing that I didn't talk about it for a whole month. I didn't talk about that because I didn't have enough information. But when I got the information, I was willing to give you the truth of it. You know what podcasters did? Radio did? They talked about that shit for 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, not knowing any of the evidence, not knowing the truth about any of it. But they had black people thinking all them white people do is shoot up the damn apartment. All they did was shoot up. You don't even know what really happened. You don't know. So y'all, if it ain't rough, it ain't me. I'm always gonna bring it like that. That's just the nature of me. And before I sit back and let people just learn wrong shit, I'm gonna say what I got to say. If you don't take it for what it is, that's fine. If you think I'm wrong, that's fine. But I know I'm gonna say this to you, and I'm gonna say it on the air. I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm still on my circle. There is going to be repercussions to some of these district attorneys that filed these type of lawsuits and filed these criminal charges on that man. And I'm not going to feel sorry for them because they use their black asses. They use those black people just like they use black people to do their dirt. I'm going to tell you that right now. That lady then went and you did an indictment. You did an indictment at 10 o'clock at night. That's unprecedented. They told her you got to get an indictment tonight because we didn't slip the indictment. They had an indictment already written up 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock that morning. And it leaked out to the public. That's how you know it's fraudulent. They already had the indictment. They didn't even make the announcement because they still had the indictment. They still had the grand jury in session. How do you have an indictment before the grand jury comes out? Y'all don't know about this shit. I know about it. I know how it slipped out. They already had an indictment put in place because they knew they were going to get an indictment because they fixed the indictment. They fixed the indictment. So it slips out to the media. There's pictures out here, and then they get caught doing it, and they say, oh, no, that's not a real indictment. That's a fake one. No, it's time-stamped by your office. Everybody knows what an indictment looks like if you're in the legal field. We know what an indictment is. And we know that it has to be time-stamped by your office. And it was. You can't make that up. So that's why she was forced to get an indictment that night at 10 o'clock. And then here's the thing. If you would have changed something on that fake document that you called fake, if you would have changed the stamp, the time stamp, put it in a different corner or did it a different way, put it upside down or change it to something, and it not matched the same one that you called the fake one, then I might have believed that it would have been a counterfeit. But the same indictment that you said was fake is the one that you presented to the people and said, well, here's the indictment on this case. That's the same one that you called fake. That's the same one you called fake. So you had that indictment written up. You already know what the grand jury out of all the cases is going to say yes to. Let's hold on. You know you can be charged for 10 things. You can have 10 charges that you're facing right now. And you have 7 to 10 days for a grand jury to indict you. And they might take 10 charges in there. And they might only come out with 3 indictments out of the 7 charges. How was it that if it was a fake indictment, how did it match exactly out of all the charges? How did it match exactly the ones that got the indictments later on at 10 o'clock at night? By the way, ma'am, I'm not going to feel sorry for you when this shit comes back on you. You're being used by the white liberals. They used your black ass. And I'm going to tell you what's happening here. what's going to happen? She then went out and got her nails done that day, got her hair done that day, because she didn't know she was going to be on TV, because she knew the process. She knew what was supposed to happen. She wasn't anticipating that indictment to be done until the next day. So she didn't rushed out. They told her, no, we need it tonight. She then went out, got her nails done and hair done and all that old shit, because she knew she was going to have a press conference at 11 o'clock at night. Has Melissa Powers ever done that? Has any prosecutor, y'all know that what was his name? Joe Dieters is racist, right? You ever seen Joe Dieters' racist ass come at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night and call down an indictment on a black man? You ever seen his racist ass do that? Y'all love to say racist. You love to say racist. Have you ever seen Joe Dieters' racist ass pull an indictment out his ass on a black man at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night? You haven't. You dumbasses. You haven't. And game is being played in front of you, and you falling for it. You are very sleepy. You falling for that shit. And that's why I'm not going to feel sorry for this lady who has over 70%, I think it is, 70% of her jail in Atlanta got black people in it that haven't even been indicted yet. You got people down there that's been in jail for 2-3 weeks and haven't been indicted yet. Where's Al Sharpton Perm in the suit? Where is Crump? Where's all the black leadership? Where that jail down there that the sister is running, she's the district attorney. She is the prosecutor down, the main prosecutor down there. And she got black men, black women sitting in jails. The jail is ridiculously depleted. It's crazy, it's nasty. And she got black people down there sitting in jail for 2-3 weeks, a month, and they have not been indicted. It's totally against their constitutional rights. Y'all focused on all the shit they want you to eat. You don't care about the real shit. You sitting back here looking at an indictment on a man that's obviously fraudulent. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me put this in the mix, because y'all ain't going to hear it from another black dude, so you got to hear it from me. But wait a minute, Wyatt. There was like 13 other people that got caught up in his conspiracy. If I'm not mistaken, didn't they call this a racketeer? What made it a racketeer? What made it a RICO case? What made it a RICO case? You know what made it a RICO case? They defined it a RICO case because they said that this man ordered them to do this. He was the ringleader in this cause. So now what they did is they charged a bunch of people that they could find some type of guilt on. Fraudulent pushers of the, like people that was at the work told, what is it? The voter place, polling place, or, where they vote. And they caught them doing some shit just like they catch Democrats doing. And they affiliated it with the Trump dude. Now what you got is you got a dirty poll worker or a dirty person that was in the game. And now what they do is they charge them to be part of something with him. So now what they have the bearing to do, they have to prove that the Trump dude gave the order or was involved in what those people were trying to do. That's what look, if they were trying to win by all costs, that's what they chose to do. That don't mean that somebody else made them do it. So what did they do? Here's how I know that's some bullshit. I got to prove it to you. Before y'all say he just talking shit. The people that took plea deals, the 2-3 people that already took the plea deals, none of them faced racketeering charges. None of them were really they took the RICO case out of it. Because guess what they got to do? They have to prove, they have to testify. They had to make a deal in order to get the plea. They have to make a deal that they will testify in any case coming up. And in a cynical mind, what that tells you is this. When Donald Trump's case come up, I got to testify against him. What if you ain't got nothing to say? I'm still going to take that deal. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. You're going to give me this deal because of what I did wrong. And if I take this deal, then if I'm needed in any other case, I'm not going to come in and lie, but I'll come in and testify. Do you know in that trial that if they come in and testify, they may ask them something as simple as, well, do you know Mr. Trump? And you'll answer it, yes, I know him. Do you work on his campaign? And you got to hear that answer. Did he give you instruction to do what you did in your case? Then they got to hear that answer. And there's some people that already think and they already know what those answers are. And that's what they want you to believe. They're manipulating you to believe that these guys got plea deals. These guys got plea deals to tell some type of truth. When in fact, that can be a total misrepresentation. It can be a fabrication. It could just make it look like that's what's going to happen. And as long as they have this perception out there, then they can always make that level of guilt look even more guilty. This is a magic trick. And a lot of people ain't going to want to hear that. Let me say this before I get out of here, because y'all know if it ain't rough, it ain't me. Let me just say this. Y'all going to think it's going to be some billionaire made some move when he get out of this. You're going to say some shit like, well, you know how white people get out of stuff. You know they ain't going to never send no white man to jail. Y'all going to have all these excuses. You're going to already have it it's already going to be in your data bank. You're going to have all these answers and, well, he a mob boss and all that old shit. You're going to have all that set up and ready to go. You have never not once thought that what was happening in the beginning was some bullshit. Not once would you ever imagine that, because you've been convinced, and they have all these layers of bullshit for you to follow. They have all these layers of different bullshit that makes things look the way they do. And if black people don't get it, if you don't understand it, as much as we have gone through the legal system and this same shit that man is going through, it's a railroad job. That's the same thing that's been happening to us for decades. There's some brothers sitting in jail right now knowing exactly what that Trump dude going through. They know exactly how this man is being railroaded on these what looks to be cases. Now they trying to take a businessman's license because he overvalued his property, and he's the only person that's on record in the state of New York that this prosecutor has ever ran an indictment on. See, that's the problem right there, DC. I love you, brother, but see, that's crazy. You say, I don't feel bad for a damn billionaire. Are you mad at him because he's a billionaire? You don't care about justice. You don't care what's right, what's wrong. You think because he's a billionaire, he should be punished. That's just like that's the same type of mentality, brother, that this lady right here has her constituents thinking. Eat the rich. I'm rich. I'm making a hell of a lot more than everybody around me, but I'm on y'all's side because I know I want them rich people to look bad. That's that same mentality. So you're not going to say anything. You're not going to say anything about an injustice or a misjustice or any of that. You don't care about that. You're mad at Donald Trump because he's a billionaire. I mean, bro. I don't get it. I don't get it. And you know what? Here's the thing. I'll defend a billionaire just like I'll defend a guy on the street. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. I don't justify how a person should be treated based on how much money that they have or the little amount of money that they may have. That's I can't do that. All right, let me run this down to you real fast because somebody just said it and I forgot I had to do this. The credit card situation. Since it's at the end, it's only going to take me 5 minutes to tell you. Here's the easiest way to do it. 2 years ago, I had a show on this platform right here, and I told everybody I think it was right before COVID. I said, look, you got an administration that's coming in. They're not going to be money friendly to the middle class. I already knew the middle class was going to go broke with this administration, whether you like what I'm saying or not. It's evolved. Everything I told you that was going to happen is happening. I told you with this administration coming in, they're not friendly to the middle class. Interest rates are going to go through the ceiling. Gas is going to be more expensive. The cost of living and groceries and everything are going to be sky high. I said it before they start changing the price tags on everything. Anybody that's been here since the beginning, I told you. And you know it. You know I said it. Here's the thing with the credit card situation. A couple years ago, I told you to consolidate your credit cards. I said you need to find a card that has half the percentage of what your highest card is at the moment. So if you have 2 or 3 credit cards, find one where you can transfer all your credit cards to one card with one payment, one interest. You can control this card a little bit easier by having all the money there. Credit card companies know how much credit you're extended out by your credit report. So they know how much of the debt they own of you versus other cards or other people. Okay. So this is what I try to tell people to do. I told you to transfer to a lower card, blah, 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 pay the little transfer fee. Sometimes it's $100, maybe $200. I don't know, depending on what APR you have set up. Here's what I've done. Now, I want to simplify this. I want to make it make sense to some people. I got to clear something up first. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a credit expert. I don't play one on the radio nor on podcasts, and I don't represent myself as being one. I want to just give you that honesty and that truth right here when I tell you this. This is what's worked for me. This is what I've been able to understand and help me accomplish and maneuver through certain things. Here's the thing. There's several things that credit cards do for us, and there's some things that work for us and some things that don't work for us. Sometimes, most of the time, the majority of people that are using credit cards use them to sustain a certain lifestyle. Okay? Most credit cards shouldn't even be used for the majority of the things that are being used. I can't really help anybody that doesn't have that don't have discipline. If you don't have a level of discipline of spending, this method is not going to work for you. Okay? This method is not going to work for you. So now let me just tell you this. Appreciate those that stuck around. What I've learned to do is this. We all know that sometimes you have a little extra money to overpay your card, right? To overpay. So let's say your minimum payment, say you have a balance of $1,000 and your minimum payment is due on next Friday and the minimum due is $20. Let's just say that I want to pay $100 towards my card. Here's what I've learned to do myself personally. I've learned to send in or make a payment online or whatever. It's usually easier to do it online because you can watch the process of what I'm doing. You can watch how the interest changes and how your principal changes. So what I would do online is I would make the minimum payment on the minimum day. Not the day, but before the due date. Okay? That way you have a registered payment in. It's on time. The report, your credit report, your bank or whoever the card is from is reporting to your credit report as a 30-day net paid. It's on time. Here's what you have to learn how to do. If you had $100 you wanted to pay towards that $1,000, go ahead and pay the $20 minimum payment. I'm about to teach you a secret. If you send them that $20, okay, you got $80 left of that $100. Wait till the statement close date. Wait for the statement close date and send that $80 to the principal. Do you understand what I'm saying? Send that $80 to the principal. What, Daryl, you don't understand what I'm talking about? He got this look up like he don't get it. All I'm telling you to do, send that $80 difference toward the principal. It's not the same. I know y'all think if you send $100, 80 of it is going to the principal. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not the same way. You're not paying down on the principal. It's like on a car. If you send your monthly payment in, you're paying interest on that monthly payment. But if you send, if your payment is $550 and you send $600 every month, don't do it that way. Don't do it that way. All it's doing is making you pay less on your next car payment. So in other words, if your car payment is $550, if it's $550 every month, okay, and you send $600, all they're doing is using that extra $50 to knock off the money on your next payment. So your next payment won't be $550, it'll only be $500. You're not paying towards the principal. You're paying toward the next payment, and they don't tell you that. So instead of doing $550, or instead of sending $600 on the $550 payment, send them the $550, but then make an additional payment of $50 toward the principal. Pay the principal down, you'll pay less interest. You're paying interest on the principal of the credit cards every month. You understand? The higher the principal is, the higher, the more it's going to cost you to have that, whatever the balance is, whatever the credit is, whatever the interest is, you're paying money on the principal. So you have to learn how to pay down the principal. So any extra money that you get, that you pay towards your payment, don't incorporate it in the payment, because all you're doing is making your next payment cheaper, but you're still paying on that large principal. They don't apply that extra money to the principal. They apply it to the next payment. Watch that. Watch that. Do it just try it one time the wrong way and see what I'm telling you is right. So if I got a payment of $550 a month and I send them $600, my next payment, they're going to show me on my balance, on my payment due. They're going to, yes. Okay, Stephen Speed said, I do that with my mortgage. Pay toward, if you send in $200 a month extra on your mortgage payment, don't send it on the payment. Send it, make a separate payment. And here's the key. Here's the key of what you got to do. You have to send it right the same week or the same day of the closing date of the statement, the statement closing date. You have to send it right. Go to your statement. Go to your statement, because the interest doesn't kick in till the next statement date. So what you want to do is you want to pay down the principal before your next statement date kicks in, because that's the principal, that's the interest that they're going to start posing on the principal. You see what I'm saying? So say, for instance, I have $1,000 balance and I send in $100, but 20 is the minimum. All right. So what I really want to do is start paying down my principal. So what I'll do is I'll send my minimum of $20 to get me in good standing, but I might have 2 weeks before my statement closing date. So I'll wait the 2 weeks, send the additional $80 towards my principal, and then the principal is now $80 less off of the $1,000. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now they're going to go down from, they're going to charge me the interest on the $920 that I owe now. They're not charging me the interest on me sending $100 in on one payment. Do you guys get what I'm saying to you? It's a process. You got to be disciplined when you do this. But if you want to do your money right and don't do it bad, because you got to understand, the average family in the country has $70,000 worth of interest on, $70,000 worth of credit card bills. DC said, see, bro, this is what I was talking about when I sent you that message a couple months ago about these type of shows, because you're knowledgeable on it. Well, I try to spread it. I gotta be better than just talking about other, political issues and stuff like that, because I hate going into that muddy water, because I don't want to try to change anybody's mind. If sometimes I get lost in the sauce and I want everybody to be great. I want everybody to be great. So I give you my opinion about certain things that I know that are true. But when it comes to this money, I'm not the best teacher in the world, because I'm not taught. I was never taught. I'm self-taught. I never sat down in an economic class and learned life. I only learned what I needed to learn to get to the next level, to my next grade or my next class or whatever. I didn't learn anything using it in my day-to-day life, not in economics or anything like that. I took economic classes just to get a degree, just to be able to go to school and finish. But the things that I use in life, they don't teach you what I just told you in an economic class. They don't. This is something that you got to kind of figure out, or you got to know that it's out there. You got to watch numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I'm not the best teacher or explainer at it. Jason Dockery, what's up, bro? He said, I'll try it. I was doing it wrong. I was just overpaying on the mortgage. No, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people think, and here's the thing, it's taught that way. Excuse me, let me get this. Sorry, I had this earpiece in. It's taught that way. Even mortgage companies will tell you. You're welcome, Ed. Ed's the one that got me started. Mortgage companies will tell you, send $200. They might not tell you, but lenders will say, if you send $200 a month on your monthly payment on your mortgage, you'll pay your house off 7 years early. Well, you do it my way, you might pay it off 10 years early. The reason why I say might 10 years is because it all depends on what you owe, what you send extra, and how much longer you have to pay. So the numbers, they fluctuate based on what the principals are, what the balance is left, your principal balance that's left, how many months you have left on your loan or years or whatever. All that changes. So I'm telling you, my way is going to cut your mortgage back even further. Even further. And a lot of people don't understand this. Check this out. I'm about to give you another piece of game. It's simple. It's easy. A lot of people take out 30-year FHAs or 30-year loans on mortgages. Please don't do that. If you can afford the payment on a 30-year fixed rate, you can afford that same loan on 24. You can afford that same loan on 24. Believe it or not, you might even be able to afford it on a 15. Do you know the difference could be about $500 a month? You could be done paying for your house. If you pay $500 a month more, you could be done paying for your house in half the time. It requires a level of discipline. It requires you not to have a new caddy with the rims. It requires you maybe not to have certain things. But guys, let me tell you this beautiful thing right here. To pay a home off in 15 years means you have more equity. It means you have more stability in this great country called America. Black folks, let me say something. I love you all to death. I swear I do. But you got to understand, there are pimps and gangsters and motherfuckers out here that want you to believe that America is so wrong and so righteous, so wrong and so dirty and unrighteous. And most of them just don't know how to move money. If they knew how to capitalize on everything that they cry about and bitch about, they would see this land different because they would know how to move in it. You would know how to make somebody better. Trust me, Mexicans, all these people coming in from these Haitians and all these people are coming to this country because they truly understand how great it is through the opportunity. We're the only ones that sit back and can try to understand, and try to embrace all the bullshit that happened to us. We got to stop that. You got to stop that. I heard something the other day when somebody was like, well, see, he don't be knowing what I'm talking about. Shit, white people didn't even see us as a whole person. They seen us 1/3 of a human being. I don't want to try to educate, be the Mr. Know-it-all guys, but you got to understand that was math. That was not how they felt about you as a person. That was because of a political way of what you were to society at that time economically. Now, a lot of people don't know what I'm talking about, but they didn't say you weren't human. You was an ape. You was a monster. That's not where the 1/3 came in. 1/3 was the value. Okay, ask yourself, I got a question and I'll pose it to you. When black people were 1/3 of a human being, what were white women? At that same time, ask all your Abdullahs and all your, what's the dude name that be on the radio who always go to the he always talking about Black history and he always talking about Egypt. He always talking about I don't know his name. Y'all know him. Y'all know the dude name. He go on Lincoln Show and he always talking about, somebody will put it in there if they still here. I don't know. I just feel like talking, but I don't know his name. Somebody put it in there. I don't know. But Pharaoh. Somebody asked Pharaoh that question. Thanks, Valerie Davis. Thanks, Stephen Speed. Thanks, Jason Dockery. Thanks, DC. Thanks, Carolyn Smith. Pharaoh. Somebody asked Pharaoh that question. Now, I know y'all think I be capping for these white folks. It's not that, folks. I love my people enough to be honest with you. And I know a lot. Trust me, I'd love to sit down with Pharaoh. It ain't that I disagree with everything that he says, but you got to put the things that he says in proper context. Because he says some real shit, okay? He really does. But everything that he say is not accurate to the point. It's really not. It's easy to say that elephants one day ran everything. It's easy to say that elephants were the main choice of travel back in a certain time. That could be true, but they may not have been the main source. They may have been an access source. That's all I'm saying to you. He tends to have information that always don't really pertain to the point of differential. You understand what I'm saying? Like he brings the point, but it don't always fit where it's supposed to go. He that old guy that got a bunch of keys on the ring. And you be like, damn, you got keys for this? And some of them keys are good for certain doors, but then he got a lot of old keys that don't work anymore because those doors don't exist anymore. You get what I'm saying? He's one of them type of dudes. The type of dude that I grew up understanding and knowing that his significance is what his knowledge is. As long as he feel like he knows something, he feels relevant. That's just how people are. The quiet guys, those are the ones that end up being, and I don't mean Pharaoh, I'm just talking about people that don't feel like they're relevant. Those are the dudes that end up doing things that you just don't see coming. Their relevance and the way that they treat life and how they see things be different sometimes because they can't really gravitate to society. They don't think like us because they're not part of the conversation like we are. So I'm just telling you, Pharaoh is one of those guys that I see. He has a lot of knowledge, but when he starts talking about the pyramids and shit like that, he's on point about some of that stuff. But what he's not in point, but you can't convert pyramids to America. It don't work the same way because captive minds, that shit was it was different. It was a whole different colony of people in America at that time. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't do that. That's like saying in a football game of 2023, the Cincinnati Bengals play football, but they don't play football like they did in 1985. The shoulder pads are different. The helmets are different. The uniforms might be the same and the game might be the same, but the approach to the game is different. The play calling is different. The speed of the game is different, but it's football. So you can't equate everything that used to be in the game in today's game. And that's what Pharaoh and some of these other guys do. So my point was this. Those that want to use the analogy of white people didn't even see black people as a whole person, we was 1/3 of a person, you better know what that content is. You better understand the premise of that point. You don't know what that was. It was an economic reason why they did it that way. It had nothing to do with they thought you was half man, half monkey, half this, half that, wasn't human, wasn't this. It was for constitutional right purposes. And my question to anybody that thinks it's anything different is, when they thought we was 1/3 of a person or a human being, what was white women at that time? Ask them that. Y'all know if it ain't rough, it ain't me, and that's just how I feel about it. I'm going to tell you the real deal, and I'm going to tell you how it is. Those that really want to grasp it and keep it, that's cool. If you don't, I understand that too. I want to thank you for being here. I went over a little bit. I went over a whole lot. Peace and love to everybody. See you tomorrow, 1 o'clock. If it ain't rough, it ain't me. Let's go.
Red is the villain, and you're just a hostage. So whenever I'm stepping over your head like an ostrich, groupies been waiting for this, suckers been hating for this. You know why? Cause so many y'all relating to this. Jealous is how they're feeling intentionally, but then start to love it because I made it eventually. Pumping the music, I keep the music like pumping, cause Ren ain't in it for nothing, I keep the average crowd jumping. Yo, you know the color, the villain's in black. Always down, I make noise and attack, so you better get back. Unless you wanna come with it and make your face like a target and close your eyes when I hit it. You're screaming with fear, but it's with fear that you're screaming. You're waking up in a sweat cause rent is giving bad dreams. And I'm not scheming, I'm just telling the facts. That's how it is when the WA start to attack. So brothers, they wanna scrap with me. They're squeezing and sneezing, won't last a lap with me. Especially begging to write some lyrics with me. I just snatch your girl to take a nap with me. Cause when it comes to rent, there's no comparison. And if you try to be me, it's quite embarrassing. But I understand cause you're mentally slow. Cause I can tell from the jump, you're too nervous to go. It ain't rope, it ain't me. He's black and he's about to attack. It ain't rope, it ain't me. Let me bust a freestyle in. I can tell that you're afraid to fight me. Simple because you lost the crowd. And they had to invite me because your sweat is a puddle. But they're the puddles of sweat. I'm a threat, so get a cold rag and wipe your neck. And clean the dirt off your face that cause acne. It's ridiculous thinking that you can jack me. This is a round where the punch will go until your H-E-A-T that's known as a blow. I'm making a point, but it's a point that I'm making. Like, see, I'm hating the fake, and I keep the suckers like shaking. Scared to speak with a thought when they're chosen. The sound of my voice in their ear and they're frozen. This is about to the death, it's like the same old. Against a brother on a tip with a cane go. Giving them pain, but it's with pain that I'm giving. But I'm comparing and tearing them, but I'm making a living. With the hype of a 9-volt battery. And the odds for me to conquer is averagely good. Meaning I'm a flow. I'm from the streets, so yo, I'm ready to go. It ain't me. You're red. He's black and he's about to attack. It ain't me. Man, what you gonna do now? Get informed, he's about to attack. It ain't me. You're red. He's black and he's about to attack. It ain't me. Man, what you gonna do now? Get informed. The do not disturb sign is in effect. While I'm thinking of a food to select to give the victim the verdict. So for the verdict, the victim slamming my vocals on the desk with the rest. Then I kick them, tell them they're guilty, and peep out the bailiff. And get a new track of drums so I can play with percussion. Pumping it loud when I perform. Yo, you wanna play in my game? Put on a uniform. It ain't a rule in the book, you have to go by. Hey, cause when it comes to cheating, yo, you should know I put fear in the heart. Cause it's the heart full of fear. Cause what you hear in your ear is something funky and clear. The hope was incredible, yo, but Renee was super, but now I'm ruthless. A civilian and not a trooper, but a soldier with the top ranking. Giving dumb material, the hell with the ganking. So play like an airplane and just jet. And keep your blood pressure low, cause I'm a threat. Cause if not, I'm afraid of the show that you're a sucker and you're too nervous to go.
Eastern Side Beats. Cheese Bark.